We are now? Okay, well, it is 8 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order, if we could stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
He said he wasn't gonna be here this afternoon, but I didn't think he said all.
Give him a couple minutes here. Okay,
He was gonna be here for pictures, I thought.
Yeah. hi Dan. Okay, we got, anyone for public discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a motion to approve the agenda in the minutes from May 26th. Motion by Garmin, second by Haas. Any discussion on the agenda or the minutes? If not, all in favor of approving them, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, next up is discussion decision to review and approve claims and the drainage claims. Everyone had a chance to look at them in our packet. Any questions? There's Josh.
I have a question. I'll make a motion for the
Okay.
claims and drainage claims.
Motion by Haas to approve the claims, second by Stecker. Any discussion on the claims? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
You voted aye, Josh?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next up we have our budget status report in our packet. If you've had a chance to review that, we can acknowledge that for the record. No questions on that? Then we can go ahead to discussion decision to set date and time for IT director interviews.
Might wanna call Donna.
Yeah.
500.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
there's
she's
Donna.
here.
Just in
That's
time.
quick.
We were just gonna
We
call
are
you.
so quick. I was trying to gauge it.
We're just got to IT director interview time.
IT director, I don't have the times, because you guys have to set that.
Yep, yep.
We had 22 applicants, I sent 8 to Joel to review, and he recommended 5 of the 8.
Okay,
Okay, good.
that's a fair amount of applicants.
That's good.
Well, you get your mix.
Well, sure, but I mean to interview, to get to that
Yeah,
stage,
no, I
yeah.
think that that's a good number,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
especially I think they're geographically within reason that, you know, we're not wasting their time or our time.
That's good.
So,
It seems like a good day.
what's the agenda look like, Tammy?
Well, I know you guys have kind of shot for Tuesdays.
Yeah, next Tuesday, the morning is swamped. I mean, your afternoon is open. The 16th is open, except for, that hog confinement, that number 2 site that
Oh,
we
yeah.
had to repost and publish. So, the 9th afternoon is gonna be busy morning, or the 16th.
I don't know what you guys think. I'd almost maybe try for the 9th, and then if we wanted to do a second round of interviews with our final candidate or top 2 or whatever, we can do that the following week maybe.
That'd be fine.
Okay with me.
So you're thinking afternoon?
Afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon for sure.
What
If we're
time?
gonna interview maybe 5, we should start at 1?
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
1 at the latest.
yep, that would be good.
I will try and get them scheduled into that time frame. If somebody can't come the 9th, do you want them to try and come the 16th, or you?
Yeah, it's ridiculous to assume that everybody can make it.
That's what I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be a tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's.
or do you wanna do it a
difficult.
different day that week? Do you wanna wait that long?
Yeah, I'd lean that way too, try to come back.
And then decide on the 16th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could do it morning of 10th. If we have to have a makeup,
Can we do afternoons or not?
well, or,
I'm busy at 3 o'clock on the 10th.
yeah,
How about Wednesday?
that's what we're talking about,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, duh.
No, you're good.
You said all afternoon Wednesday you're open? Howard said 3 o'clock he was busy.
I'm open all day on Wednesday, if I can be
Afternoon would probably
flexible, I
be
should
easier
say.
for me than morning.
Okay,
So
Could we
the-
do early afternoon? Wednesday as a backup option?
okay,
I'm
I
good
don't
with
have to
that.
go far enough.
okay. Well,
And
Yeah,
Donna,
'cause
just
I-
let me know if you get one scheduled so I can put it on the agenda.
Okay,
All
okay,
morning,
I'll
so
try and send it out
Hearing
and see what,
for the employees all morning, so I
Okay.
can't do that
Gotcha.
morning at all.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay?
yeah,
okay,
something we can.
And then I've got packets for this afternoon.
okay,
I made one for everybody, I know you're not gonna be
Yeah.
here, but you can at least look.
thank you.
It
Thank
feels different than I thought it would feel.
You're gonna be here?
I'm hoping it, what?
You gonna be here?
Yes, I'm gonna be here.
He's just clarifying.
I'm not gonna be here the night for the IT, but I think.
is this the right one?
Was Joel,
Oh, you can take that off.
Oh, okay,
was Joel coming that day?
I have to let him know.
Okay.
But yeah,
It was, that was what we kind
he
of
kind
talked
of
about, right?
indicated that and we
Yeah.
talked.
I would hope so, and if he can't, we probably should reschedule.
Yeah, I've been talking, he's at that conference,
Joel, yes,
so,
yeah.
you know.
Did you somewhat agree with his?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, I selected 8 and then he picked up 3 and
Sure.
actually the last 1 or 2 of the 8 I just threw in there because I didn't want, I didn't know what I was looking at for some of those.
mhm,
So on one side is the job description, on the other side, for those individual folders, sorry, is the actual applications and then a listing of the questions. You can use them or not use them, the times, and then I'll have extra paper, because that's, the
Okay.
questions are kind of tight.
Oh, great.
yeah.
Thank you,
No,
that's very
thank you.
organized. Appreciate that.
Thank
Okay.
you.
See you.
Alright, see you this
back
afternoon,
here at
2 o'clock,
2 o'clock.
we'll see you then,
Okay, thank
thanks
you.
Donna.
You will be here tonight, this afternoon, yeah, you had said that.
Okay.
The
one from previous week.
right?
We are up to date, yeah.
Did you have a question, Howard? Did you say you had a question earlier at claims, or did I misunderstand what you said?
I don't think so.
Okay, never mind.
I didn't catch it, if
Okay,
that's the case.
Had a question yesterday.
okay.
Morning, Doug, Howard, Haas. Or, do you already on the agenda? Yep, okay. Yesterday we didn't have the drainage claims and the other claims were mislabeled as drainage claims.
Yeah,
No,
right.
no, no.
Brittany told me that you had called
Yeah.
and she had named it wrong and didn't
Yeah.
have the drainage claims in there,
No
so
big deal.
she got it correct.
Yep.
Stay a second, yeah, second. New month.
Keeps on moving.
Morning, Doug.
Good morning, everyone.
Sorry, move that out of your way.
Well, that's fine.
You're up to construction in the right of way whenever you are ready.
We have no request for, construction of the road right away today.
Okay, anything for discussion?
Yeah, just a few things quick. 2-week pay periods, we pretty much have everything all ready to go on that. We are working on our transitional right now. We continue to, implement the electronic time clock. We have 5 and 8, 13 people using that right now. We have not imported anything into our payroll system yet. However, we do have people using it and trying to work out kinks that way. I did provide a map to the board for the bridges that were submitted for the competitive highway bridge program through the federal government. 5 bridges, 4 of those. The bridges to the northeast of Algona are all contained in our 5-year program. And the bridge over to the south of Whittemore is one that was added. I foresee that that's going to be put into our 5-year program soon, so I added that. These bridges will be evaluated by a grant committee, and that grant committee will decide on all of the state's applications that are put in there to provide an application to the federal government. $32.5 million is available, which will do approximately 35 bridges. So we'll see how everything goes on that. The intersection out on the Bode Hobarton and McGregor, P30, B40, we have received some beacons. We hope that a couple of them will be installed today. The ones that I requested that they get put up would be red beacons on the stop signs for southbound traffic. Then after that, we will get the remainder of those up. Working on getting some requests for equipment. We still have roof repairs going on. We have contracts for construction. However, we have not heard anything from anyone as far as beginning that construction. And kind of finishing up self-insurance. Tammy, Donna, Melissa, and I met last week. We are getting the process ready to begin with a high deductible health plan, making sure that the withholdings from the checks are correct. Have a few more choices, but we are starting to get some work done for that, getting that prepared. So that's kind of everything that is going on in the engineer's office, and work with the insurance as well.
Any questions for Doug?
Are you gonna come back when we talk about the property casualty insurance?
I was planning on that, yes. Yeah, and also is there something going on with Drain 116? Is there a hearing or something there?
At
Informational
8:30.
meeting at 8:30, yep,
That's at 8:30?
yep,
I was
yep.
planning on kind of attending
Okay.
that as well, but yes. All right.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Morning.
Discussion with the county auditor.
Okay, so next Tuesday is gonna be busy for you guys. Remember 7:30 to 9 o'clock, you have the intern breakfast
right.
at the Columbia Event Center. And then we'll start our meeting here at 9:30 to give a little bit of time to get organized and back here. We'll have the canvas of the election from today. At 9:45, you'll have a teleconference with Palo Alto County. At 10 o'clock, pipeline ordinance public hearing. 10:30, Iowa Lakes, electric hearing, and then you're gonna have, interviews in the afternoon,
Full day.
full day. And then you'll have the department head meeting the 11th for anybody that wants to attend that. What?
On the calendar.
It's on your camera. And then, we ran some numbers, just in case you have anybody ask, but just for your information. Compared to where we are in absentee voting, compared to where we were 4 years ago with the primary before the governor's race, we had just shy of 200 more absentee voters this time. So, expecting a good turnout at the polls as well, so.
So what's the number, how many absentee voters do you have?
It's over 500, 533, I think. So, yeah, at the general, 2 years ago, we had over 1,900, so. But for a primary, it's pretty good turnout.
Good, how are you? Good.
So, then that's all I have.
You're all good.
Josh, anything? Okay.
I didn't have meetings, but I did go to board adjustment last week, so,
Okay, right.
I was just kind of curious,
Mm-hmm.
more curious about the process and everything.
Yeah,
everything that they
yeah.
do, because, so, but it was a good meeting, I think.
I asked Carter, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You're fine, if you had questions.
Yeah, I asked Carter earlier, we had approved Clint Ayers to
Board of
serve on the
Adjustment.
Board of Adjustment, hadn't we?
I thought so.
Yeah.
But didn't they seem like they were lost last
Yeah,
night?
they didn't know that.
Was he there?
No.
No,
Oh,
and they said some,
Neither was another
they
guy.
kinda acted like there was still a vacancy. So, we thought it was handled, so,
No, I mean, I talked with Clint a couple of times and he said, yeah,
does Corey not know?
I'd like to be on there and communicate that to Corey, I mean, gave him information, I mean, even chairman of the Board of Adjustment knew about it too, so I don't know what got missed there, or maybe he decided he didn't wanna do it, I don't know,
I don't know.
He,
but he already got appointed, so.
No,
Yeah.
that might be something to follow up on.
Okay,
sorry.
you don't know anything about
You're
that,
fine.
Tammy?
No,
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did you have anything?
No,
else?
no, that's it.
I had CHADC here, fourth Friday of last month. The meeting went good, we did have a couple county attorneys that found this word should be tweaked to that or whatever, like board and commission switched and a couple odds and ends. There wasn't any big substance of changes, so that discussion went pretty quick, but it was gonna be sent out again for the 30-day notification. But then, once it actually gets approved at CHADC, then we'll bring it back to the full boards for every county. So that should be coming within the next month or two. Otherwise, the program that I talked about after the previous meeting for evaluations that was losing over $200,000 a year. In discussions with the, person that handles that service for the most part, she had actually had some recommendations on ways to increase revenue. And apparently those have been brought up a couple of years in advance, but had never been conveyed to anyone else. So instead of ending the evaluation program, we are going to give those opportunities a chance to bear fruit and kind of evaluate it a little closer. But in general, it looks like we should be able to turn the financials of that program around and be positive at the end and still provide good services. So, that was a very nice new bit of information instead of losing $200,000 a year. So, I think that's about all I had
yeah, then we started.
for meetings.
Yeah, I didn't have anything, I went to the Board of Adjustment meeting last night too. Just probably ask the other gentleman if he wants to be involved, and if not, we should try to find somebody for
Right,
him too.
right.
They only had 3 there.
Is it a 5-person board?
Yeah. The Clint Ayler's thing was a mystery to them, the way it sounded to me last night, you agree with that?
I would agree.
And then if I understood it right, the other guy had never shown up the way it sounded.
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't feel like he probably even wanted to be on there probably.
Has he been
Person should
notified?
probably ask him. No, I'm not about the other fella, you know, I
The fifth one, not
Who was the
Clint.
fifth?
Yeah,
I think maybe they should have seen and asked him if he wants to be on.
Was it Chuck, is he the
Yeah,
one? Oh,
it's
okay,
Chuck.
okay, okay.
was
I-
he getting notice for the meetings and all that stuff, but?
Well, I mean, I can only assume.
This is really hope so.
Yeah, I can,
Okay.
yeah,
I
would
can,
hope
I
so
can
as
give him a
well.
call.
Yeah.
Well, maybe start with Steve, I don't know, let's see, make sure our information.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was curious about.
Yeah. Oh, sounds good. Anything else, Howard? Okay. I had no meetings either. Did Heather, or Tammy, did you get a televising anything in the mail for City of Whittemore? DD40? Nothing at all?
Nothing yet, no.
Okay. Well, let me know when you do,
Okay.
if you do.
Yeah, you said DD40?
Yes, please, yeah.
Is that supposed to have been here by now?
Well, it was supposed to be here a few weeks ago and
That's what I figured.
I got a hold of the foreman and said, hey, why is this not here? And
Who's it coming from?
from Visisewer, Visisewer.
I'm-
VISU.
I might actually kind
SCW.
of say that,
Oh, you might have it?
yeah.
Okay, cause I talked to him and he said that should have been there a couple weeks ago. I don't know what's going on with that office.
Let me
and so
grab it.
He said, I'll make sure either whether it's myself personally delivering it or it's in the mail expedited, it's gonna be there this week. So, that's,
Okay,
She's gonna check.
She's gonna go
She
check.
says, when you said the name, she thought maybe she
Okay,
recognized it,
okay.
so.
okay. I talked to Colin, when I was visiting with Colin Klingbeil about PAK1 stuff, but he was wondering what the status of that was. We talked about it a little bit and he said, yeah, I could've warned you about that. He says, we've had the same thing.
oh.
he should have warned you
I-
about that.
Well, you see the
But he
city-
didn't know.
the City of Algona did $175,000 contract with them.
He,
Really?
he said they were way cheaper than everybody, but,
Now we know why.
but maybe you get what you pay for. I don't know, but I mean,
Yeah.
Whittemore was all happy with them.
Okay,
I mean, they had no issues working with them, it sounded like.
Once
So,
they showed up.
I don't know.
Well.
But Colin said it might have been a dollar thing on his end, cause that was like a $10,000 project for them, where we're talking $200,000, so you'd think they'd be a little more, have a little more gumption to build on it.
I just had questions, cause the request that's attached, we'd already paid.
You didn't get a televising?
Is
No,
it just a,
that's the only thing we got.
Oh,
is it just a bill, or what is it?
Yeah,
No.
it's a bill,
is this a bill?
yeah.
Yep.
So we got the bill, but not the.
To
Yeah.
Carter Nash. I don't know who that is, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I had questions, cause that one has been paid for, so I wasn't sure if it was.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
But that's it, yeah, that's the only thing we
but
got.
you didn't get anything, okay, thank you, I'll dig further into that. What time is it here? 5 minutes, okay, we have drainage repair requests today, you know, I don't.
Did Howard and you do your board reports?
Yeah,
I'm really snoozing today.
no, you're
Okay,
okay,
go ahead,
that
sorry.
slows down.
you've had an early morning,
Yeah. No, we don't have any.
okay, I didn't think so. Then we have discussion decision to approve resolutions for joint drainage districts for 2026 fall assessments.
Can we move that to after 8:30 so we have more time to
Yes,
talk about it?
yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say.
So,
Yeah,
I-
so we will
so
visit that after
4-minute break
Yeah.
quick and.
our
Yeah.
informational meeting,
Yeah.
so.
Let's do that.
you can pass those out to them if you want to.
The assessment?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they're in their packets too, correct?
Yeah, I threw the assessment in their packet yesterday.
Thank you.
Took me a
I'm gonna use my 4 minutes to call this.
Good luck.
Well, if I could project, that would be great. I've got paper copies for everybody, but sometimes it's a lot easier if I just point. Instead of covering that chair. Okay. Yes, please.
Sorry, it's kind of small print.
It is.
It's a lot to fit on there though, in such a small space.
Yes.
I try. I want it to be as easy and understandable as possible.
Until I know I got everybody here for the informational meeting. Okay. Information, yes. I'm just going to assume everybody probably is, but you bet. Had informational meeting?
Thank you.
Information for the informational meeting made it in everyone's packets, right? Okay. I had a couple of extra paper copies in case anybody wanted one, but.
Kyle,
Yes.
the Mansky, whatever, what's the proper terminology is for that?
Yes. Is that the saturated buffer project? Yeah.
So I know the Lake, somebody from Lake City got the contract, but who's actually doing the work?
I'm gonna have to look.
Somebody from Kossuth County?
Who did get that one?
I thought Lake City got, somebody speculated, and I admit to emphasize speculated, from Dorn, they got Dorn beer was doing.
I wanted to say, I thought.
Did they get the contract?
I thought they did.
Maybe I'm wrong, okay.
I thought Cody Hornbeer was
Okay.
doing,
All right.
was doing Mansky.
Okay.
So Wesley, so yeah, so
So I'm gonna be ignorant. What's actually gonna happen in the end? And what's the purpose of the riprap and all that?
So the saturated buffers, and I think if we're talking about the same one, you take town water and you divert it along. Right,
You're gonna have a pool for it to settle out.
Well, no, the saturated buffers, it bleeds through the side, through the banks. And that's the point of the riprap, is to make sure that the water coming out doesn't take the bank with it. So those banks are gonna act as that denitrifier.
Okay.
It's not a pool, it's a.
So like tile, I have great interest in, comes from the south, I think it's 18 to 24 hours. So it'll drop out of that onto some rock.
It drops out of that into side, if we're talking about the same thing, it'll drop into side tiles, perforated tiles that go along the ditch.
That won't restrict the flow whatsoever.
No, because everything's always lower.
And it can go off the top if it has to.
Correct.
Thanks.
Yeah. And we can look at those. And we can.
No, it's no big deal.
I can pull those planting in. If ever you wanted to just stop out to the office, we always look at that stuff too.
I've driven up there twice, I'm just across the highway to the south, and I've driven up there a couple times with the side by side and looked, and I can't decipher what they're doing, but I did see those boxes laying there.
Yeah, the boxes is essentially what controls the water going one way or the other. But they're not able to stop the main flow. They're only ever able to pull
Low flow, yeah, I remember that.
Hi, Don. Hey.
I printed one, so thank you.
Yeah.
Is now joining.
You said somebody was doing, are they doing
It looks like they're in.
on phone? Yep. Thank you, Josh.
Yep.
How's Tyler today?
Good, yourself?
Good.
Ready to talk a bit of drainage?
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
Does your mind ever leave drainage?
What's that?
Does your mind ever leave drainage?
Always,
Okay.
when I'm eating maybe,
Yes, good idea.
even then.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Very shaky today, sorry.
What's that?
Very shaky.
That's okay, no worries.
Do you know
Good, yourself.
who went to last week? Do you know who went to repair that? That's the only one that didn't have like a request on it. Okay, and it's just, you know,
And I'll talk to, Dime about that other one too.
Okay.
I will look at it.
okay.
Well, I did just get a hold of Business Sewer in our break, and they have a camera truck, the truck that all the information is on is in Algona today, cause they're doing a project for the city.
Oh, isn't that
So,
convenient?
so they're
What
going
street are they
to, he's
on?
going to try and get us the information today, so
Perfect.
he's going to give me an update later this morning, but anyway,
So in other words, drive around till you find them.
correct. About be what I need to do, oh boy, okay. I missed one? Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Okay, well, it is after 8:30, and so we will go ahead with our Drainage District 116, laterals 12 and 16 informational meeting. Appreciate everyone from the public being here today, and Tyler Conley here is with us from Bolton and Mank. I'll take a motion to open the informational hearing. So, motion by Wactor,
Second.
second by Stecker. Any discussion on opening the informational meeting? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath.
Yes. Okay, meeting is open and go ahead, Tyler.
Okay, thank you, yes, again. Good morning all, my name's Tyler Conley, professional engineer with Bolton Mink. Here to kind of walk through, some options. This is, I wanna get out right in front of this. This is an informational meeting. This is above and beyond what the code requires for drainage district, projects. No formal decisions can be made here today. No discussions or anything lock us into any sort of path. This is for the information of the benefited landowners within a particular region of the district. And, so this is to invite discussion, this is to invite ideas, potential dissent, anything that way, so that responses to potential requests can be refined, and they may not need to be as expensive based on landowner desires. So that's just how I'll start out the conversation. I've handed out some information, we'll go through it. Again, none of this is final, none of this is anything but estimates, and none of it is for anything other than discussion purposes. So, to get us into the idea of where we're at, is this the one that I want? Yeah, okay. So the map, the first map that was handed out for everyone is displaying 116 in its entirety. It is this red boundary, generally centered on the map. There are other districts labeled around for how they interact with that boundary, but 116 is the one right there in the middle and focus. The petition for the informational meeting that we're at is relative to lateral 12. Lateral 12 is right here. Off of that, the other lateral that is of interest is lateral 14, which is right there. The benefited area, the area determined to have been draining to that, is ringed then in the purple boundary on the map. And you can see there is actually some area outside of the red that is within that purple, and we can get into what that means and the difference that might make. The next page then is a zoomed in aerial, or a zoomed in map of that, just specific purple watershed area with landowner names on it. Those names are from late 2025, so apologies if any of that has since changed. Also on there is a digital elevation model, a DEM displaying elevations. The reddest reds, brightest reds are the highest highs, the deepest darkest blues are the lowest lows. That's displaying then the gradient of elevation from high to low with the flow paths that were calculated or modeled off of those elevations displayed then on the map. So, for purposes of who's involved, the potential for participation, those that are relevant to this discussion, this is really the map that was used and the process used to determine that. More into the process itself. So within drainage districts and within these laterals, there are two types of projects. There are repair projects that are mandatory. That's anything that keeps the facilities in good repair, in the capacity that they are intended to move water at. Those are repair projects. The other type of project then is an improvement project. Improvement projects are anything that increase the capacity of the system. If you can carry more water than originally designed, that's an improvement project. Improvement projects are not required, they're not mandatory. They are based on, they're driven by petitions first to get them started, and then they can be halted by the benefited landowners. It's been tried, and as it stands right now, the language is in the district to be benefited by the project. So if you are within the district and to be benefited, you have the ability to object to a project, an improvement project, and that counts towards a process known as remonstrance. Remonstrance is if a majority of landowners, so over 50% by count, by the number of people, owning 70% of the land by area, has to be both. If that criteria is met on an improvement project, it's halted. It stops right then and there without even any trustee say into it. As a result of the potential for remonstrance, the idea behind informational meetings is to get everyone together, get that discussion going, and if there's large amounts of dissent, we know that we spend less time, less effort in creating the response to an improvement petition, so that, one, people know when it does come time for that formal hearing and a formal discussion, they're not taken off guard by something that happened. They're not asked to make a decision on a multiple $100,000 tile project that day that they've probably only known about for maybe 20 days. And two, then it doesn't, because of those pressures, because of that kind of 0 to 60 approach, it doesn't, less risk of ending a project after a considerable amount of money has been spent. So, what brought us then to this informational meeting was that there was a petition submitted for the consideration of, or really for this meeting specifically, to discuss the likelihood or the appetite of the benefited area at looking at an improvement to lateral 12 and lateral 14 to serve that purple watershed area. There was also a for discussion's sake again, a capacity analysis run on that system. The gravity fed systems operate, there's three conditions that dictate how much water a gravity system can carry. And one is its size, what's its diameter. Two, what grade is it on? And three is its material makeup or its roughness, based on what it's made of and how smoothly it can convey water. If any one of those three things changes, it alters how much water that tile can take. The capacities that were run for lateral 12 and lateral 14 are based off of the original design capacities of the system, the original profiles, the original sizes, and generalized friction coefficient for a clay tile. What it doesn't take into account is its potential age, any disjointing cracks, misalignments, anything like that. Looking at the capacities of the system is then most often done in what is known as a drainage coefficient. That is inches of water per day that the system can carry off of the entire watershed area. The modern design standard for drainage coefficient, as recommended by Iowa State for the Prairie Pothole region of Iowa, is between a 1/2 inch and 1 inch per day drainage coefficient. The lower end being 1/2 inch, meaning that if there was a 1/2 inch of rain over the whole watershed, it would be gone in a 24-hour period of time. The calculated existing drainage coefficient for lateral 12 is 0.16 inches per day. So that's 31.6% of the modern recommended 1/2 inch drainage coefficient. The existing lateral 14 lower portion is right around that same drainage coefficient, 0.14 inches per day. The upper portion of lateral 14 is actually even less than that. It's a 0.07 inches per day drainage coefficient. It's a 10-inch line at a 0.2% grade, being asked to drain, or the amount of surface water that can get naturally to that point is about 353 acres. So, pretty undersized. There's also then, on the right-hand side of the table for those capacities, a column for the size of tile that would be needed at those same grades to get at least the 1/2 inch drainage coefficient. Those sizes would provide more, but based on the jump in commercially available sizes, it's rare that you ever get exactly that 1/2 inch drainage coefficient. But those are the sizes that would produce at least that amount. For the sake of those that are online, the values for lateral 12, the lower end to get the 1/2 inch drainage coefficient would be a 36 inch, then a 30 inch, and lateral 14 would require a 24 inch line. With those options, there's also been, at the back, cost estimates. These are, of course, estimates. They're based on preliminary lengths of tile, really essentially just replacing the existing installed lengths with those those new sizes. The estimate on lateral 12 being, for the construction portion, being $400,000, and for lateral 14 being $140,000. Any questions at this point? There's more for consideration on improvement projects that I'll get into, but at this point, and again, I don't want this, nothing that's discussed, locks into any, no decision can be made. We're really, the intent of this is to try to use it as guidance for how the district and how the lateral moves forward, how the trustees oversee that lateral, and do nothing is also a valid option. As far as improvements are concerned, again, repairs, we're not here talking repairs today, we're talking about the improvement of that system. When we talk about improvement projects, there are two other, along with remonstrance, there are two other major components to improvement projects that make them different from repairs. The first is, at first and often most costly to landowners potentially, is that, that of converting any farmed wetlands. If there are any farmed wetlands out on the properties served by a potential improvement between the FSA and the NRCS, they will most likely consider those wetlands to have been converted, and to continue farming them would require mitigation. Mitigation credits per acre, when they are available, I think there are some available now, but they've been, I think the last time they were needed, they were $15,000 per acre. And the exchange is often, at best, it's ever a 1-to-1 ratio of mitigation for those acres. So if there's an improvement project considered, strongly considered, and even if there's not, I do recommend having the certified wetland determinations on your acres done, so that you have them and you know if there are wetlands out there. And if this improvement, if any improvement is strongly considered, that information be shared with the district so that it can plan and make decisions accordingly. So the mitigation of wetlands is one part of an improvement project that needs to be considered outside of repairs. The remonstrance is the other, and then lastly is the how the improvement is paid for, the reclassification of benefits. Right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tammy or Heather, but Drainage District 116 is all on one schedule.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if work is done anywhere, everyone in the district pays for it, no matter which of the mains, the laterals, the ditches, any of that, it's all paid for on one schedule. When improvement projects are done, the code recognizes that there is an inequity, there's been a change in how lands benefit from that improvement. So a process is done that includes the engineer and two disinterested landowners for the reapportionment of that improvement cost to just those that benefit from it. So it creates just what is essentially a sub-pocket district for those costs. One would be for 12, and then there'd be another for lateral 14 for those payments. That is something then that your potential benefit is based on how much land you drain to it, where your property is located, your need for drainage based on soil types, how much of the facility you use and from where do you use it, and then what you're using your ground for when compared to agricultural ground. That's a later in the process step. It has its own hearings, its own reports, its own ability for people to object or argue their point of view for those benefits. But it is a step in the improvements that is worthy of at least bringing up at this point. As it is a difference between repairs and improvement projects.
I don't think you mentioned this, the farm wetlands and the mitigated acres is not something we can determine.
That is not something, right, thank you, Howard, that is not something that the trustees have, because of the Privacy Act, no one can go in and actually request those wetland determinations for anyone. Those have to be done by the landowner. It's not something that the trustees, the board as the trustees for this district or for this lateral have access to. It's information that would have to be shared with them, and pretty routinely, it's something that can go into the decision making, but more often than not, the burden of those costs are the landowners. It's not something that the district, they can take it into consideration whether the project goes or not, but it's much more difficult for them to compensate anyone for those, other than like I said, the consideration of whether the project goes or not. If those mitigation is going to create an overwhelming burden to the district, the trustees can weigh that into their decision. These projects are also then by code allowed, the district does not have funds available outside of small balances to keep bank accounts open essentially. So to pay for work that's done, the district uses stamped warrants. Those have face values and interest rates associated with them. Throughout the duration of the project, that interest accrues, but then there's also at the end the opportunity for landowners, if your assessment is over $500 per parcel, you're able to take advantage of the code says no fewer than 10 and no more than 20-year annual payback of that assessment. The trustees set that on larger projects. Most often they go with the 20-year option, give landowners up to the full 20 years. Sometimes for smaller repairs, it's best to just go with the 10. So, there are some grounds that are currently, based on the DEM, would be naturally draining too, and as a result, in my opinion, in the event of an improvement, would be able to take advantage of that system. They'd be brought in as part of the project. The system would be designed accordingly for those lands to take advantage of that. However, based on the fact that they are not currently in the district, if they wanted to have their right to object to the project considered, they would have to be brought in first for that to be considered. Again, because the tried process for remonstrance stands at in the district, currently in the district, to be benefited. So you have to be one, in, and two, you have to be benefited from the project that's taking place. Meaning that the rest of the district, even though they're in, though they wouldn't be benefited, really, as far as that lateral is concerned, you wouldn't want others to have a say whether or not your project went. The legal side of it, as I've had it described to me as well, is that the, in the district portion of that comes from the fact that those that have been in the district and been paying assessments essentially get the priority of what is done to the system. However, we have seen voluntary annexations previously in order to preserve people's right to object or show their support for projects. There is never any formal vote. The process is either object or not. And that is not today. It's at the formal hearing. Notice would go out to everyone. There'd be a report answering the potential call for improvement. And at that point, there's the opportunity to object, and those get tallied for whether or not the remonstrance has been met. Any questions now at this point?
Is the purple line, that's just the benefited area?
Correct.
Not the assessed area?
Correct, yes. The assessed area, so there is, and I didn't print it off because it's rather sizable, but there is a standing assessment schedule for this district in its entirety. Even as the red boundary stands, there are grounds in the district that are not within that red boundary. Just don't wanna call you out, Mark, but you're right, your ground is the, MJF Trust, the parcel right here is in the district. It's just not shown, it's on the assessment schedule, it's on here, it has benefit to it, but it's not in the red area. And the difficult thing about trying to determine what is considered in or out, outside of just the whole thing in its entirety, is that this schedule does not tell us acres. It only tells us potential benefit, or not potential, the calculated benefit, albeit from 100+ years ago. So you are correct. There is a difference there between what's the perceived benefit, what is the current benefit. The difficulty then lies in displaying what that difference is based on the information that's left in the district history. But as far as the fairs being in the district and having their right to petition and look at these things, as far as I'm concerned, that's unquestionable.
Sort of a background question, when and how were the drainage districts determined in the first place?
Yes, so that will go all the way back. The drainage districts are, and I'll bring up that bigger map. Drainage districts have been described to me legally as quasi-governmental agencies. They are kind of like homeowners associations, they're kind of like cities. They're overseen by the county board of supervisors if the districts don't choose to hold their own elections and elect from within themselves. These drainage districts are governed by Iowa law. They have a code section all their own, 468 is all drainage district law. And they were created in the early 1900s, most of them between about 1905 and 1920. And they were created and had ditches dug, channels, existing creeks turned into uniform channels, tiles and tile mains and branches were all built, all to drain and dry out for the livable purpose of the Des Moines Lobe portion of Iowa. There are over 3,000 drainage districts within the state. Kossuth County has,
160?
what's that?
160.
160
Give or take, yeah.
or so just districts. The amount of facilities, the amount of tile, the laterals, far exceeds that number. I mean, it's then in the thousands as far as different named facilities. Those districts have been in place and have been working around the clock for the last 120 years. When they were originally designed, when they were originally considered, it was for the purpose of getting the ground habitable so that you could potentially grow wheat or at least live in the area, because of how marshy, how swampy, how much of a nuisance the water was to having anybody live in the state, in that portion of the state, which is rather considerable to Des Moines Lobe. So the drainage capacities, the coefficients they were looking at was not taking into account modern agricultural practices, or even row crops at all. They were looking at more between an 1/8 and 3/8 inch per day of drainage coefficient. So looking at these lateral capacities, it isn't necessarily that surprising when you look under that original lens for capacity. What we're coming up against now, though, is based on more modern agricultural farming practices, changes in weather pattern, as well as just the age of the systems themselves. They're just not keeping up anymore. They're starting to fail, they're starting to show their age, and they just frankly weren't designed for what they're being asked to do now. So that's where it comes about talking about the potential improvements. The thought on this is get the discussion started about potential improvements, because if you're going to be reaching the end of a facility's usable life, the code states it has to get repaired. It can't operate lesser. And what we've been finding is that with the amount of money you spend towards a repair project to just get back what you had, it's oftentimes more economical than to consider that improvement project to gain on top of that amount. What's done ultimately is a decision of those that are benefited. And the trustees, the board, and that's a distinction too, I'll make for their benefit. Because the district hasn't decided to make its own elections and have its own trustees within the district, by default, the county board of supervisors becomes those district trustees. When they act in this role, they're not acting as the board of supervisors, they're acting as the district trustees. They're to act in the district's interest. It's different. So, they're the ones that have the kind of that ultimate final say with input from the benefited landowners, and the benefited landowners, in the case of improvements, do have the ultimate right of, if they band together, totally well, not totally, but 50%, over 50%, owning 70% of the land in opposition, ends at 2. That is a drainage district and where they start. There's, just anecdotally, there's a New York Times article from the period when the districts were done, and it compared, dollars and overall economic difference. And at the time, the drainage of the state of Iowa topped the Panama Canal. So that's just, that's the extent and what all was done, so.
I'll have a question. So it was never the intent back in the early 1900s that they would take the county and figure out where all the water would go if it were to go naturally, and then split up the districts, determining on that basis. That was never thought that you would even try to drain the whole county. It's just certain areas for livable reasons.
Oh, well, if you look at where a lot of the districts are, like outside of the heavy rivered areas of Kossuth County, most of it is districted. Most of it has been, there was a determination of this goes this way, this goes this way. Just for instance, before this goes to sleep, there was an effort in this area to determine, just between this district and this one, what water goes which way and which one goes the other, because they lie right next to each other. This amount of overlap shows you from the technologies of the 1900s, early 1900s, when they're looking at it just as we sit here, how accurately you can do that. Fairly well, but you can see that they really deferred a lot to straight lines, the more rigid edges, not taking into account the lay of the land. We can do it better now. We can make more we can take more of that into account when we size for these things. So I would say there had been a pretty big drive to figure out what those watershed areas were and account for them. They did the best that they could, and they're very, very good. They're just a product of their time. The other anecdote about, that I've always been told is specific to Kossuth County, is that there's a reason it's 2 counties tall, and it's because of how wet the northern portion of the county was. The state wasn't going to justify building a courthouse where no one would ever be able to live. The drainage districts changed that, but after that had all been essentially set in place. The state still has 100 courthouses, but we'll get into that later. Anyone else? Again, it really, the discussion, the potential interest, really tailors that response. The amounts that have been given here, the costs associated are for the 1/2-inch drainage coefficient. But we've seen laterals in districts go to the 3/4 or to the 1-inch. 1-inch is kind of the Cadillac of systems, if you will. A lot of people have been considering that split, that 3/4, but it's not my system, and I'm not here to try to convince someone of the drainage or doing it. I'm indifferent to it. So where the direction goes, what the trustees need to hear, what anyone looking at the potential improvement needs to hear, is what the landowners would like to see done.
So that's a 1/2-inch coefficient on everything in the purple line then?
Correct.
So Benjamins, they would have to be annexed in first
Correct.
to be part of the project, so you can say yes or no.
Correct. And I've had a discussion with them about that.
Okay.
And let them know that you're being, because of how your water naturally gets to that system, you would be factored in for the design of what it looks like. However, to object, they would need to request to be in, else throughout the project, throughout the process, those that benefit get pulled in naturally through the process with the reclassification and the annexation of grounds. But again, that's something that as far as the discussion goes, how that takes shape. And this all, and I hope you don't mind me calling out, but this came about based on the fairs and their desire to tile drain their property into the district. There was a long stood understanding that they weren't in the district. They are. You go and look at the schedules and they are on the facility schedules, meaning they have the full right to drain to it. There was a question about what capacity, what allowance you'd be able to bring in, as far as like a pressurization of lines. The codes read that no one can intentionally damage the facilities, so there's some questions there. There's a lot that the code didn't know was ever going to be possible or be considered, but that's really what brought this about. And then looking at the capacities of the systems that they're interested in using, they're rather small, even based on the early 1900s considerations. So that ultimately is what brings us here.
How much vote do we need to vote it out? What's the percent does it take?
So it would be 50% by number, over 50% by population, by count of landowners of the full system, owning 70% of the ground by area.
And that would be the whole system, all of 116 Tyler?
116.
Not all, it would be in the district to be benefited, so just of the purple.
We farmed our whole adult life, we've got along just fine up till now. One person's come in here and got all this going, yeah. It's a bunch of crap.
Well, and it's,
That's too much money.
I don't, so,
If you went by the old district, drainage district line, what is there is sufficient. You're trying to bring a whole new area in farther to the east
I'm not,
that has not been a part of this
Well,
district.
somebody is, who is?
I'm not trying to do anything.
Who is?
I'm reviewing the
Somebody is.
information for what
Okay.
could be considered. I'm not trying to push anything. I've been asked to look at the information and bring it forward.
And you got a really good
And we were told a lot of the water goes to the east. In that area that you're trying to take to the west, we've been told that goes east.
Again, I'm not trying to do,
I
I,
don't know
Hey,
what
hey,
changed.
guys, or Dean, I will just say, so the Board of Supervisors asked, or as trustees of the district, asked Tyler to look into this for us.
Okay.
So Tyler is not, I mean, as Tyler stated, he is impartial to any decision, that's why we're having an informational meeting, and so that we can get a feel of the district and what direction we need to go from here. So don't crucify Tyler, okay?
Yeah, that's the other piece to that is what Tyler's presenting is technology driven. I
Correct.
mean, in the same regard, he was talking about the classification of 100 years ago, you went out with a horse and buggy and looked at it visually and drew lines on a map.
Right.
This is computer, satellite imagery, it's very technical, it's not things Tyler's drawing on a map.
Oh, no.
So if the water does go another direction currently, that doesn't mean that the maps are inaccurate. This is accurate based on technology.
And I would say,
It is.
based on what I know of the private tile systems, a lot of this it is tiled to the east.
Yes.
What I've looked at here is, these are the surface flows. This is how water gets out of there naturally without that subsurface tile. There are instances, there are rainfall events, and you can see it just in the aerials, the amount of water that is draining and getting to that upper lateral. So, I don't disagree that based on what I'd imagine, they thought the water getting there when it was designed, and even looking at it, it is near that 1/8 inch drainage coefficient for what it is. I don't disagree at all that it's acting as it was originally intended to act. What I'm finding when I look at the information is the amount of water that's making it there and how it is likely, keeping up with that intent. No water, no additional anything has been brought over other than what is being looked at here. But I will say, in preserving the drainage rights of those that are on the schedule, it's more than just what this red line shows. And they have the right to come in and drain their ground. Because of that right, they're exercising the right to, and they haven't even technically asked for that improvement yet. They've asked to get everybody together to discuss it. Yes, it's a lot of money. I understand that. That's why we're here to talk about it.
And,
Is because-
and it was a lot of money 100 years ago when it was put in too.
Before we get locked into any sort of option, which we are a ways from, because of the amount of money, that's the sort of things that we need to hear to see about the likelihood of whether or not it goes or not, or would be stopped. Because I don't wanna spend more of my time and money so that I get here only to watch something die, and then the only person that spent money or cost anyone in this room money is me. And then people are upset that I've done that. Whether they hold me responsible for perceived pushing a project or not. That's just how it sometimes comes off, right?
And Tyler explained the process from a formal hearing and all that, but one thing that probably wasn't explained, pictured perfectly clear was, this meeting today is not legally required. This is above and beyond the code requirements, because the people that drew up drainage law 100 years ago, which most of that has stayed intact through the years, they didn't anticipate $3 million projects, but we've done $3 million projects in this county. Obviously, that's not the proposal here today, but the things that happened 100 years ago, you couldn't anticipate the technology, the planter technology that we have today, all of the modern aspects of farming that we have today, a lot of that was not anticipated in the code. So this meeting on its own is above and beyond the legal requirements, just for the purpose of additional information and additional discussion. So I just wanted to add that clarification in there.
If I could make a comment, when we put this pond in to try to drain ours, one of the things that became very apparently clear, we tried to do it for 10 inches on our ground, but as we drained our ground and we get big rains, we get a lot of water coming from the east, from the Benjamins. I mean, it does naturally flow west. That's for sure obvious, and we requested an informational meeting because we want to be good neighbors. We want to have, this should benefit everyone, and I think it will. I mean, the 16th coefficient is way under average for most people's ground. I think we'd all see a benefit, but that we just, yeah, pipe to be able to drain our ground, and once we found out that we were actually part of that district, code says that we have the right to have an outlet, so. Even if we would not, if the district would come up with a 70% remonstrance, we would probably still take our own lateral over to, to lateral 14 at least. Which we have, I think, the right for to do that.
Is the ditch big enough, we're not gonna have to have any clean out of the open ditch, do you think?
I don't anticipate that, no. When looking at the capacities of the open channels and comparing them to the flow rates that we're asking to bring in there, it's not a comparison. The ditch can carry so much more, because of its size, because of its open nature. And I even don't anticipate the depth being a problem. Now, I haven't looked at that much beyond just glances at LiDAR, but we find a lot is pretty feasible as far as depth and increases in depth. When these lines and districts were all put in, a lot of the tile were all put in by hand, and so their size and their depth has really been dictated by that, because that was hard work. So if you could steel the pipe up a little bit, you did. Just worse or better, so.
So on this colored map here, I'm the Brian Casey one up here.
Okay.
So, of the new benefited tile project, I'd have to pay that 30 acres in the purple, and then I'd also get assessed the 20 acres on the north. I mean, I know it's fast math, but what
If you appeared, there'd be a difference between the lateral 12 and the lateral 14. Right, as it stands, unless it was just gonna be done as one combined lateral project. They are standing as two. What I'll say is, yes, you would pay based on the facilities that you use, but you pay based on the benefit, the mathematical benefit that you receive. People don't all pay the same. Those that are using more of it, those that are closer to it, those that, there are factors that go into it, the grounds that are wetter because of their soil types, because of their, where they're positioned in the district. All of that plays into what people's benefit is, and it's typically those that are wetter, using more of it, closer to it, that end up paying the highest benefit. And really yeah.
I think I can answer your question very quickly. The red box at the north end, that would not be what would be benefited by the new project, so no, you wouldn't be paying on that.
On the north one,
You'd be
which one?
paying-
Oh, okay, I misunderstood. That
Yeah.
north,
You were giving a very technical.
yeah, no, sorry.
very specific question.
No, that's outside of the,
benefit of 12?
correct.
Correct, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
And if the project goes ahead, can I appeal that on that 30 acres, because I pattern tiled that myself, and everything goes to the north drainage ditch?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Even if it goes ahead?
Yes, yep, and that's the information that we need to know. That's, again, part of the discussion, is that I know where the district facilities are, and I know what the ground surface does. I don't know what anyone's done subsurface out there, and where that goes and how that drains. So, yes, any of that information, the parts that want to be considered, those that don't want to be considered because they've done something else, that all goes into this discussion.
And that is a good point for the other conversation for the Benjamin property that could be tiled to the east. I don't know all the specifics of that, regardless. Those factors can all be given to the engineer at the time of the reclassification or in advance of the reclassification, and that can be weighed We as a board vote on it at the end, of course, but, a lot of that's prepared in advance typically, but there's been historic situations that could be referenced as far as how that split is, but typically if something has a surface flow one direction and subsurface flow the other, typically they're in both and they have a percentage assigned to them. So, without getting into all the technical aspects of that, yes, you could get a reduction hypothetically for your subsurface water going north. You still may have a part of it,
That
but,
normally starts at a 70% reduction.
for, usually subsurface is 70, surface is 30. There are independent factors that could vary that, but yeah, I mean, and Tyler could talk you through all the specifics of all this outside of the meeting as well. But typically you would be in both districts and would get benefit from both of them, because if we had a 100-year rain event that seems to happen about every 2 years right now, you would get some benefit from the new project hypothetically. You might not get it all the time, but that's where the reduction factor would come in.
Is the
Since it's a new project, county project, that the drainage district is paying for, correct?
It's not a county project.
A drainage district, landowners and the drainage district that's paying for it,
This would be a
correct?
potential project for the
Okay.
district, yes.
So since the pond that they built was not engineered by the county, does that have to be tore down, restarted, because they're hooking into a drainage district? I mean, they have no, that design of that pond that they built was not, unless you,
Nope.
so can they hook into this, the drainage district, on something that they built without that being destroyed and started over and make it county, start with the county? Or start with the drainage district? Because they're just built a pond and now they're hooking into a drainage district.
We would probably, if this would go through, and we get the half-inch coefficient or whatever, if this would go through, we would probably tear the pond out and push it back in.
We want that pond wouldn't be hooked into the.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, we would get rid of the pond, just because, we just did the pond just because we knew we did, when we bought that piece of ground, or was asked to buy it, when we found out we didn't really have much of an outlet going east.
That ground's been that way for 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, but we just thought if we could just buy a little time and let it through the fall, that was our.
My point is,
So this is not something that's tried and true across.
I agree.
Yeah, we
It's
have,
an open discussion, and my open
Yeah.
discussion with you
Yes.
is, what will they do with it?
Whether or not the pond is destroyed, we'll hook our tile just into this new like a normal tile. It will not be
Lateral
going
14
up
will
into the
come
pond.
all the way
It
up.
won't have the back pressure.
Right, the pond will not pressure the system.
And that's actually what
Yeah.
we started with the discussion, was that I defend their right to come in.
I don't disagree that, but
what
they have a lot of back pressure and.
What I don't defend is the ability to pressurize that line.
yep,
And that's where we started, and that's actually where there's the bottom line down here that equates what, for their potential area, what the largest, I think the district should ever entertain as it is, their outlet from that pond. Essentially saying, I don't care how the pond works or operates, what I do care about is your discharge rate into that district tile. Because I'm here looking out for that district facility by appointment. And so, looking at that, looking at what the coefficient across that lateral board was, the drainage coefficient coming out of that pond that was gonna be acceptable was gonna be 0.07 inches per day. So that was, I mean,
yeah.
and because looking at that.
We had the conversation about the pressure and what size line could even potentially come
I
out
know,
there.
I've seen that all, that's what I'm saying,
So-
but that pond was not built with engineering
So,
design.
so
That's what my
my
question is.
simple answer to that is, I don't know that we can force them to take the pond down, I don't have an answer to that. But, from a district perspective, I think we can say that they're not allowed to drain more than the system's rated for, which is all the technical stuff of what Tyler just said. So, I don't.
Well, they really should only be allowed to drain what their land is assessed into the drainage district.
Correct, capacity wise.
But that whole thing is pumped into that pond, so they drain the whole thing.
And so, and then that's the equations that I've looked at there as far as the allowable release rate and what that equates to.
And just, yeah, Tyler's looked into it, but it would be our intent to just not use the pond as it's been used. Yeah, just, it would drain like a normal piece of ground. Gravity
We would
drain.
just dump, our outlet that went
Into
into our
this
sump,
new
we
ground.
put it right into this extended 14,
Yeah.
or lateral 14.
Yes, and then that is more of the background of, yes, what brings us here and the discussion of it.
Well, there's no need to go into deep discussion unless you know from the start what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's
I
what we,
mean-
that's our intent, once we found that we were part of the district paying stuff, we would prefer to just tile it. We never did the pond the first thing, if we knew that, we didn't think that was possible, I guess, when we started.
Well, have you ever
Push
thought
back
about
and
bringing
raise-
up your own private main and just
Good point.
eliminate everything? I'm just asking,
Yeah.
cause we've done it on some farms.
Yeah, no,
You mean
Two other
basically,
landlords, you bring it in and you bring up your own main.
you mean basically follow 12 and 14?
You run beside it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring up your own main, you take the pressure off that other main, you have your own private main, and anybody that wants to hook into it, they pays you a fee, otherwise it's yours.
That's an option, it's kind of, sometimes can be difficult to run through everybody's tile, depending on how much tile is there, so but that's why we're here, to talk about options like this, yeah.
I don't think that's been brought up, a private main though, has it?
No.
Well, no, when I say it, then you gotta worry about cutting all the laterals that after.
Well, the other way, you get everybody else to pay for your drainage.
Well, and if there is, again, I don't want to just bully because of who petitioned, but they have the right to at least ask if people are interested in,
Sometimes
in
it's
looking
easier
at it.
for a private main yourself.
And sometimes it is, and sometimes people, they find that other people have been limping along. If that's not the case, then other things can be discussed.
And we drove by that for quite a few years, I don't think the ground around there, a lot of it's subpoplar really, there's water sits a lot of places around there, and I just thought maybe the neighbors would be willing to improve, if we share it. It seemed like a fairly reasonable project, because we did other projects that are quite a bit more expensive than this down in Humboldt County, we just did one, so.
Well, and maybe to backtrack to the kind of the beginning of the discussion here, Tyler talked about the recommendations from Iowa State. The half-inch recommendation is with good surface drainage. The 1-inch coefficient is recommended with poor surface drainage. So you can kind of take that into the equation whether you feel like you have good surface drainage or not, but he was also right. We have done some 1-inch projects. We've done several 3/4 inch projects. We've done less half-inch projects than either 3/4 or 1-inch in recent history. So I think a half-inch coefficient is a pretty low to reasonable target for the expectations of modern farming. It is a group effort when you look at a district facility, but you have both the district facility side of that and private tile to get your water to the district facility. So there's multiple aspects to that, but there is significant advantages to having a bigger outlet, whether that's county tile, private tile, open ditch, whatever. There are significant benefits to having access to get rid of your water.
I'm having a hard time reading this old map, but is the existing lateral 2,800 foot? So are you only replacing exactly pretty much linear footage that is there now?
So, let me see. I think it's only the lower portion of 12
Up to that Y.
up to the Y, yeah.
So to drain that pond, you'd still have to bring his own private tile up to the gravel road then, or?
We're not talking about draining the pond specifically.
Oh, but that's where the outlet is,
Yes.
that's where they tile through the
Yes.
pond. So I'm not saying,
What we have recommended, what those prices represent is the replacement of lateral 12 to this point and 14 to across the road.
but if Mark would want an outlet, cause there is no, well, I don't wanna say I don't. I'm fairly certain that there's no existing private tile,
Something more would have to be brought across, yes.
so he'd still have to have his own cost to cross the Trogger ground.
Correct, as those cost estimates are set out. What it's, the very preliminary costs of that are essentially that system just bigger.
So lateral 14 would stop there and it would be a county tile going.
Lateral 14 could go further if there's the desire. What it's, for the sake of discussion today, and before getting into any too much more discussion of that, that's what has been put forth. But yes, that is then where you get into that, how they benefit and what their likely costs would be to get something from their ground to that improved outlet.
Or if the Benjamins wanted to help, we'd have to share that cost.
That'd be something too, right? Or those that are benefited from lateral 14 request that it go further. And that's what gets refined in the project process. It is more likely, it would make more sense, were this to go, that lateral 14 is longer. And you get everybody that's benefited from it involved in that. I haven't put numbers to that because we're here yet, the process kind of chases its tail a little bit. We have to start somewhere. This is where we started. Just like I don't have the exact split or number of landowners or who would all have to be against it, to end it. And a lot of times if there is a overwhelming negative feeling towards it, we can pretty well get that from here. Else, we have those calculations at the time of the formal hearing. But that's all been great. That's all been, that discussion we've had, not to cut anything off or cut it short, but the discussion that has been had is the reason that we are here.
And it doesn't have to stop it today in the boardroom either, you can contact Tyler or any of us individually after the meeting as well, before or after the next hearing too.
So what's next?
Next would be, and I think the petition to date has really only been to have this informational meeting. If I read those truly, I don't know, Mark, did you ever technically petition for an improvement or just to have this?
Well, they have a meeting for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Next.
Petition to use an outlet.
Petition to use an outlet.
Okay, well, and there was the petition to use the outlet
And one for an information.
and one for an information. If that's acceptable as a petition for the improvement to the system, what comes next is the response in the form of an engineer's report, the formal formalization of, it will actually come with a set of preliminary plans that can be looked at. They've got not final, but better quantities than what's in there, not just a regurgitation of those numbers, but bigger. It comes with the outline of the investigation. We look at things like the elevation at the ditch. Could you get in there? How does the elevations play all along the facility? Make sure that it is actually feasible. That report gets filed, and then it goes to the formal hearing where at that hearing, before that hearing is closed, and it could be continued, you have the hearing, and then if you don't make a decision, it can be continued. But before that hearing is closed, a decision gets made on where formally to go. Do you proceed to a bid letting, where you get your actual numbers from contractors on what you'll do? Do you revise the project and head to a bid letting, or do you end it all completely? All of which valid options, and all of which, again, just from my standpoint as the engineer on it, being impartial to it, I take it to where the landowners want to go with it. And if that means nowhere, I'm out of here. You know, I've got better things to do than try to stand up here and sell people on stuff that they don't want. So, that's essentially the answer. Really hoping from this that trustees and that I get direction for where we're headed. There's I'd say a mixed response to the information that's been provided. Stop me if I'm wrong there. But the landowners are within their right to petition, to look at these things, and those petitions warrant responses.
Virginia, a question I have, I know there's different Mosleys, but I know you farm the Trower ground, you farm also on the west side of the road there?
Yes, the
You do.
Maudsley, all the
You do.
Maudsley acres do.
Oh, you do, okay.
And I was told by one of them, just go to the meeting, get information, and so that's what I'm doing today.
Okay,
There's four of them involved with that
sure.
philosophy there.
I see that quarter interest, yeah.
I don't maybe say this as much as I should, but I work right here in town. Our office, we share a building with North Iowa Lumber. I'm there 4 out of the 5 days most weeks, just in the office. I throw my number down. People have any questions, comments, concerns, want to talk about this, want to talk about really any of these concerns, I'm there. The point is to be as transparent as possible with this. Get as many people involved so that we're making the decision that's right for the district, not just individuals. Because it is a district, you're in this together, not just as ones or the others, so.
Unless I misunderstand this, to solve their problem, they're quite a bit of ways away from the tile that's going to be replaced or fixed. So.
And as a result.
I know everybody else needs to be drug into this when,
And I hesitate to use the word drug in. People are involved because it's the district facility that you're a part of and the one that goes through you. Because of their location and because of the amount of it that they will use and because of where they sit, those lands on the upper ends, those that need it the most, are going to get hit with the highest assessments. They will be the highest, they will have the most expense into it. But because everyone's involved, because it goes through everyone, that's why we bring people together to ask them if it's going to go, and since it's going to go, or what have you, let's get what everybody wants, or what's in everybody's best interest to have. That's why everyone's brought together, because it's always been this communal thing, and since it is, that's where we start. If it ends up being stopped based on landowner interest, if that doesn't go anywhere, but they still wanna do their own main, they're gonna be back asking to go through you, and we'll get everybody essentially involved through something potentially privately, or what have you, but, this is where it starts because of what it is. That's just why I hesitate to use the word. We're not trying, no one is trying to drag anyone in, no one is trying to get anyone to pay for someone else's drainage. Because the drainage assessments make it awfully difficult for, you're not stealing capacity, essentially. You pay for what you get, and those that benefit more pay one way or the other, whether it's part of this district facility or whether it's what they have to bring over to get to the facility. Those payments, the benefits that people receive are paid.
We're getting along
Tyler?
fine just the way it is right now, we don't need
So-
anything else.
So one of the ways I've described it to people is the districts, from a district tile perspective and a private tile perspective, when you go to the reclassification where your cost is figured out and everybody is obviously focused on cost at the end of the day. The reclassification, for all intents and purposes, tries to figure out what your total cost to drain your acre is on an individual acre basis. If you have, say 20 acres right next to a ditch, you could put your own pipe in, very quick, very cheap, your cost is gonna reflect that. If you're 3 miles away, you're not gonna need the same size pipe as if you have all your neighbors attached, but you're still gonna have 3 miles of pipe to get there. So, it splits it obviously between district facility and your private cost, but all of that is generally factored in of what is your cost going to be to drain your own acre. So, yes, you're in it together, as Tyler said, but the whole big picture is wrapped into one final product, numbers driven at the end of the day. That's really as simple as it gets. So if you were trying to private tile your own ground, your cost to drainage is going to be reflected in the bill you pay at the end of the day. If you go in with 6 different neighbors, you can put one pipe in that serves 6 people and you're gonna gain the efficiency of doing one project rather than 6 separate projects. But your cost is all going to be factored in at the end of the day. Is that simple, Tyler?
Yeah, it goes to mimic what each individual parcel would pay to do it themselves, is what we're trying to do, but gain the efficiency of only doing it once. So.
Well, I think we've had a lot of good discussion, and I'm not saying we have to end it here, but we do have other things on our agenda, and, I mean, as Tyler said, he works here in town. I think anybody could have conversations with him, or Carter, or anyone else on board if you want, but I guess if there's not any huge objections to proceeding to the next step, I think that's where the bulk and a better conversation could be had on the fine details. We're all good with that.
I guess we object that you continue on, that you just ended here, representing the Mosleys. Troggers can speak for themselves. So,
Okay.
And then, I guess it becomes a question of, I mean, looking at acres and currently, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, but currently the area served by lateral 14 and lateral 12, it would just be Maudsley's, Travers of course, but Maudsley's farming it. Al Lubenthal, Henry Schnackenberg and Goppelroods, is that?
And the fairs,
And I'm sorry,
in there, but
and
not-
fairs are in there, so what percentage of acres between the Maudsley family and the Trauger family does that make up then?
pretty decent share of it,
Right.
So we need individual owners, so how many owners are there for each of those?
For,
For the Monsleys, there's 4 of them.
4 of them, okay. Do we know about the Trauger ownership?
That'd be
right
this
there.
lady.
1, okay. Alan Lubenthal or
Al's
Schneck?
not here and Henry's not here, but
How many owners are there in the Henry Schnackenberg estate?
Surprising one.
Just one?
probably.
Is there a bunch of kids there?
Well, I don't know that Clara or,
I don't know, I'm just asking.
Well, there could be 2 kids if it's set up differently.
yeah,
For population.
but I mean, even,
Yes. because
that would be
was like
50% of population even regardless.
right,
You'd also need 70%.
it'd be the 70%.
That's what I'm after, is does that hit 70% or not? So, and that's, if it does hit 70%, then there's no use having another conversation.
Right, and
So-
actually, perhaps that'll be the thing, I
To
can
figure
pull,
out.
I can pull that
Okay,
and get that information up. No formal anything can be done here, but I'll take a look, knowing those objections, take a look at what that tentatively becomes,
okay,
and if it's not worth proceeding,
Yeah,
then I'll-
that'd be fine.
let us
but
know,
either way, I'll get those numbers up to everybody.
okay,
Yeah, that'd be good.
and then from there we can choose the best option forward.
Yes.
Yep,
It
okay,
has to be 70% object.
70%
Percent of
by
the ground.
acres.
of the acres.
By acres, yes, that's the code requirement. Yeah, 70% by acres and 50% by population.
So those of us up in the part here, away from it, would have the most cost. Is that what I'm understanding?
Where are you at?
That feeds the Trouters.
And that's,
Yeah,
that's typically where you find it.
They did officially.
There's potential based on how small the system
Didn't
is,
say yes to it.
where the highest benefit may lie. If lateral 14 is extended, it likely you find the highest benefit being out here between Fairs and Benjamin. For,
But we're fine the way we are.
and that's, right, and that's been voiced.
Just because of one issue, we're all meeting.
Yeah, they're.
And that's why we brought everyone here to act. I'm not trying to convince anybody, I've just brought the information, your your objection at this informational meeting has been heard, and that's what we're gonna tabulate to see if this needs to go any further.
You guys would rather us just take a private tile from your ground? That's what you guys would rather us do?
Well, you'd have to pay for it.
Yeah, but you have no problem with us going to a ground.
It would have to be during the off-season.
Well, yeah, that would be.
But just know that
Yeah.
fairs do have a legal right to an outlet because they are a paying member of the district, so some way, shape or form, we need to figure out a path forward on how to work with them to drain their acres,
And-
that's,
yeah, and if
I mean,
people
that's
are
no
willing to let,
objection to that, that's their, but the drug, for us to pay for a big project when it's sufficient as it is.
You don't think you guys would benefit
We're fine, as a youth farm, we're fine, you don't really think you would benefit.
I mean, we've had our Great Lake, we've lost acres some years we replant, we get something.
Yeah.
It's just, that's farming in the area.
It is.
Yeah. So, what would we expected?
Well, and I'm not necessarily trying to change your mind here, but I would say we have had a lot of projects done recently, some including that direction. That was a 1-inch coefficient on 84 that we did, and there were people that thought it would never pay for itself, and 2 years later, after multiple massive rainfall events, they said it was the best project we ever did because it got rid of the water. So my encouragement to you would be, talk to other disinterested landowners that have had projects happen. See what their feelings are. Just a personal word of advice is get some input from other people outside of your district that aren't gonna pay for it, but have seen the impacts of other projects. I think that would be valuable information for you.
I don't wanna stretch it too much longer, but is there a reason you wanna crush the tile, the old tile?
There's the two schools of thought, just real quick, is that one, it's 100 years old and it's reaching the end of its life, and if it's gonna fail and cause holes out there, it'd be better if the district just control that failure and make sure that it's done when it's done and it's never an issue. Else, it can be, let live, continued on, you can gain the, benefit from it, the small though it may be. Then it becomes a question of, do you abandon it and it become made the landowner's responsibility when it fails? Or is it going to be the responsibility of the district to continue to maintain a tile that we know is old? Conventionally, for many, many years, it was crush them and control that failure. More now, people are after that additional capacity. That just brings along its own issues. It really depends on what the condition of it is when you get out there and start looking at it. But I add and include it so that if people end up wanting to save the tile, it's an amount that comes off the estimate as opposed to one that goes on to the estimate.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Yep, thank you all for coming in.
We need to close the information.
Yeah, motion by Stecker to close the information meeting, second by Wactor. Discussion. Roll call vote please.
Wactor.
Yes.
Garmin. Stecker. Haas.
Yes.
Nah.
Yes. Information meeting is closed.
Great to have them all.
Bridget, did you learn about drainage?
I did. So sorry, Bridget, I did not know it was gonna take that.
Information's always good.
They're not monsters. No.
Do we wanna take a quick 5-minute break and reset?
So.
I don't care how long it is, but I don't need more.
I'm gonna run to this next. That's all.
So we, I sit here.
Yeah, Bridget, just so you know,
I sit here
Bridget
like
has
an
to leave by
idiot.
10:30, so.
Yeah. Okay. What was that?
Bridget has to leave by 10:30.
Well, how about we handle Bridget then take her?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that works.
Sorry to
No.
rearrange your schedule.
Trying for a while to get through that.
Thank you for waiting,
Thanks for your
Bridget.
patience.
That is no problem. This will be quick, it's pretty straightforward, so we'll.
Thank you.
We have our optional quotes for deductibles back, for the July 1st renewal. And then the second sheet on there, you guys had requested the list of, you're on, there's an additional page on the back that you don't have. So you had requested the last time I was here to see the list of other claims that we've had in the past. So this is on the property policy. Work comp is a separate policy. I can get that to you, but it was like 38 pages long, so I didn't print all those. So if you want that, I will email that over to Tam and you guys can look at it later. I would just
look at accident by type, kind of in the middle, tells you if it's a vehicle or not. So most of what we have turned in is vehicle damage. So I think that's good information to have when you're looking at increasing deductible for your auto. The property obviously holds more of the savings to increase that deductible, but we also have less claims turned in on property, so we just don't see as many incidents. So current property deductible $5,000, current auto is $1,000, whether it's collision or comprehensive damage, and our alternate deductibles are listed in that next column. The total contribution is what the premium towards that property line on the renewal is, and then the savings is the last column. So not huge savings on those lower tier increases. You won't really see more until you get to those higher deductibles, and I don't know if that's something that you guys are interested in or not. So when we upped the deductible a couple years ago, there was huge savings, and that was pretty indicative of the hard market we were in and carriers were willing to offer. Now we are hitting that soft market and the premium savings just aren't as high as what they had been 2-3 years ago. So kind of seeing that level off, good and bad both. I mean, not seeing the savings to take that higher deductible, but also premiums aren't increasing like they have been, so.
With the amount of claims that we have, does that even make sense to?
Yeah, no, I mean, and on the auto side, like, we do turn in quite a few
Yeah.
claims, so I would not
I mean,
change
if
the
you're
auto
talking a
for sure.
maximum of $6,000 savings.
Yeah,
You'll pay that with too.
yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely would not change auto. The only thing I would maybe consider is the property, and even that, like,
it's not a lot.
it's not a ton, nope. So I'm just looking at the 10,000 deductible option, you'd save 3,000 this year and have to basically go about 2 years without a claim for that to
Right.
even out. So while we don't see property claims, that might be about the time that we have a property claim, right? When we change the
Yeah.
deductible, that sometimes happens, but, so, I don't know, if you guys feel like leaving it the same, we sure can.
So the industry, as an individual, got me frightened to turn anything in.
Yeah, that's not incorrect, yes. And if you ask me that question, and I tell people that all the time, and like even, I've had a claim where it's like, we're not turning that in, it's $3,000, it's gonna cost me more premium, it's gonna be on my record, and then.
So do we ever make that determination?
So on the county's insurance, that's looked at a lot less harsh. They're expecting a certain amount of loss for a municipality, so like that, we don't see that like you do.
It's not a
It's not a
penalty.
concern that I would ever say, don't turn it in. I would absolutely always turn a claim in under county insurance. No matter what the claim is, we want that protection for you to, we made that, line in the sand, we turn this in, what happens from there? Yeah, they expect a certain amount of loss for a municipality, and we've never pushed that threshold. So while we do have lots of loss, I'm not saying we don't, I mean, we have last 5 years, 552,000 so far as we paid, so I mean, it's substantial, but they are expecting that, so while what you're saying is correct, and that is absolutely what I advise individuals to, is like, can you pay this yourself, because what if next week you have something you can't pay for, and then you have 2 in 3 years, and then we're looking at a non-renewal. That doesn't exist for the county that way, thankfully, yeah. Yeah.
First blush, and that's all it was, what I understood of, for the premium savings.
We're not saving anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're not saying, but again, as an individual, I raised my deductible because you're not turning it in anyway.
Yeah.
And
Especially if it's small.
you don't insure literally, every outhouse, hen house, and
Yeah, the premise of insurance when it started was to cover the catastrophic, right? We're pooling our neighbors' resources to rebuild our house that burned down by fire. It was meant for catastrophic. And that's kind of the trend that we've been seeing, especially in Iowa. We've become a terrible weather state in the last decade, and we're seeing that on, like, exactly what you're talking about on premiums and advisement not to maybe turn that in if it's not something that is catastrophic, yeah. Do we wanna leave it as is?
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna leave it the way it is for me.
I don't know that justifies changing.
That's what I would, do.
Too bad there's no savings.
Just not enough.
Yeah.
Appreciate
And
the
I've
time
had, I
looking
mean,
into it, though.
Virtually no savings.
what was that?
go ahead.
No, I'm done.
You're gonna pay that difference.
So I spent some time going through every little thing. We can take these every little things off, I'm not talking about a dump truck or a grader, but literally an outhouse. We're insuring an outhouse for $10,000 in places.
Which you probably pay $4 for that to be insured. There's not a lot of,
Say that again,
it's
please.
probably such a very small amount that it doesn't, yes, I see what you're saying, but by department, they decide what they want to put on the policies and what they wanna have coverage for. So overall, premium is high, but if we're talking something that's insured for $10,000 on the schedule, it's not eating up much property, or much premium.
But 50 of them add up to $500,000.
Yeah. I mean, and you can see your property portion is what's the biggest amount, but we do have quite a bit of auto premium too. And Doug went through the list and decided what, I mean, you took a lot of things down to actual cash value, not to that last list that I provided when I was here, that was like 6 pages long, showing if we wanna keep replacement costs, we have to do this value and this premium. Doug, I don't know percentage wise, but I feel like you took a lot of those down to actual cash value. I mean, there wasn't.
A dump truck is an auto,
Correct,
and a motor grader is not?
is an auto.
It's part of that.
It's, yeah, so equipment falls on the, additional property schedule. So that goes under the property deductible, we have to pick, they don't
What was
split deductibles
What
like
was
that.
equipment in that statement?
Equipment is on an additional property
But
schedule.
what is equipment? I mean, you just told me,
Graders.
it's equipment or it's an auto?
So there's a liability charge and there's a physical damage charge, so you'll see it on both. So like, if it's a liability only, there's a whole list of motor graders that are just liability only, you'll only see that on the auto. Cause we're paying for a premium, like if I am driving one of those and I hit your car, that's a liability to you. It's liability for the county, but it's on behalf of, we're paying for your damage, that's a liability, that's not a physical damage. So you'll see those on both schedules. Because we need to pick up the physical damage on that additional property schedule, that's if one of those is actually damaged. But the liability that we owe to others, if we're at fault, is on the auto schedule. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Okay.
followed you.
Yeah. Whereas if you have like a straight auto, like it's a truck or it's a van or it's a car, it's only on the auto. That is kind of confusing how.
So how come the county's different in that regard? I don't have tractors on,
That's how ICAP does their policies. That's their system, that's how their system works, that's how they split out premiums.
okay,
You have to remember ICAP is the Iowa Communities Assurance
I have
Board.
to know
They
it first,
only-
I can't
yeah.
remember it before I know it.
So they only insure municipalities, they'll insure fair boards, but we're insuring cities, counties, fair boards. It's very driven.
Government
It's,
oriented.
yeah, it's not, we're not providing coverage for schools, we're not providing farms. They are their own program, they are a pool in Iowa for only municipality business. So the way they do things is tailored to specifically municipalities, and they're able to add in coverages that standard carriers won't allow. But with that, they have their own system, they don't fall under anybody else's, it's a pool.
They have competition?
They do have competition, ICAP is, our other biggest carrier is EMC, EMC's pricing is much higher than ICAP's. ICAP, the first time that we saw an increase in premium, don't quote me, was 3 or 4 years ago, since they were a pool in 1990, like they did not raise their rate. Your rate went up, the
Yeah.
rate itself
Quite a
didn't,
A lot.
didn't,
A lot.
but the premium that you're paying, the rate itself didn't move, the amount of stuff we're insuring moved, and that's why your premium continues to go up. Prior to that 3-4 years ago where they took their first rate increase, which that's where we saw the premium savings by doing the deductible change. Which honestly, at that point, these are not bad deductibles. When you're a large entity, $1,000, I mean, most people have $1,000 deductible on their own auto policy, like those $250, $500, those are kind of going away anyway. But like a $5,000 property damage for the size of entity you are is not a high deductible. So those were good moves at that time. We're just not seeing any of this making sense, in my opinion, it doesn't save enough.
That's the way I read it too. It's different.
My recommendation would be to leave it, but,
I'd say we'll go with your recommendation.
okay.
Alright, I'll get with you on the signatures and
Yeah,
we'll get
sounds
that
good. Alright, thanks.
finalized. Thanks for bumping me up, guys.
To leave it, I don't think we have to have a motion. If you change it, I think you do, but to leave it, I don't think you need a motion.
Just leave it as is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, thank you guys.
Okay, well, that's everything except the drainage assessment, so. Yeah, we can take a break.
When do you wanna take a picture?
We just do that now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's done.
We need 70% to.
Object?
Not to object.
Object to not do a picture?
Are we taking objections now?
Sorry.
Excuse me?
Oh, you're fine. No, just gonna do that.
You ready?
No. No, the only thing I do need from you though is, this is FEMA funds owed to us, I just don't, Tammy says there are some out there, I don't know they are, so.
Okay, yep, so which, is this what we would be levying?
Yeah,
Okay, so
but that's why I
that's
also
the
have like,
difference in the waivers and the total, or where?
so, our outstanding warrants, interest past the first year, Tim, I don't know,
Okay,
on that. So
yeah.
this is the total what's due,
Yep,
what waivers are due,
yep,
current balance,
yep,
and that's what's outstanding.
okay,
But that's why I also have notes, like currently lawsuit for FEMA funds, so. 'cause
Yep.
I know some of them we probably won't levy for that reason.
yep, and there would have been a list of all those that would have been put together on one of the spreadsheets that Tammy would have for
Okay.
drain for open ditch when we did a whole presentation to the district. So we have a
Okay,
list of
we'll have to
those,
find it then, I just,
but yeah,
okay. So yeah, there are some that like say currently in lawsuits, so you
So
guys
are
can
we-
decide if you want to do it or
are we
not.
just talking through all those today and then
I-
updating them and voting next week, or what's?
That, we have to ask Tammy, I don't know, she just,
Okay,
it's been a struggle, it's been fun,
um,
learned lots of things,
yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
it's interesting.
I've felt the pain of that for years now.
Excuse me.
I updated this spreadsheet like 18 times, like added stuff.
Yeah.
He's been working so hard on it for so long.
Tammy, do you know where that spreadsheet for drain 4 is that we presented to everybody with, which would have had the list of all the other drains that would have been in that FEMA project? Cause I think in that, at the bottom of the spreadsheet, we had a list of all those broken
I
out
just
for
said
the
I
other
don't know where it's
drains.
at to add to my FEMA funds owed to us,
And that'll depend on the result of
the lawsuit.
the arbitration, so
Yeah.
without having a decision on that, it's hard to.
Well, that's what I'm saying, there may be some that we decide to wait.
Well, like one DD 159, I believe is in that as well. It's in the FEMA project, it wasn't really at issue, we have a single invoice for that and it wouldn't have been a problem. But it's in the FEMA project.
Yeah, and there was a repair, well, it just says repair 1998 FEMA, so I don't know.
Yep, so
Yeah,
that's one of them,
Yeah,
and that's
so-
like 25 grand or whatever, probably.
Yeah, 25, 110.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's why I tried to go through and put notes on there if they're like, and a current project or that kind of thing.
so that doesn't have each of them laid out, but it does have the balance of FEMA at the time, so,
Yeah, that doesn't list who they are, what
no,
lats they are.
no.
Does DD lat 4
Actually,
have it?
click on your overview tab.
I don't think it has anything
No, that's not. I think you might have had it on a different spreadsheet for the FEMA projects, I don't remember where
there. I
that's.
have it maybe on lat 4.
No, that wasn't FEMA. Try that one,
Which one?
the DD4 worksheet open ditch.
That's the over, oh,
No, that's not it,
that's, no, 71.
okay. I don't know, we'll have to look for that,
Cause I thought that's the only one I have
I know we had it broken down somewhere
by lats.
by all the projects for drain, for
Oh.
that FEMA project.
Yeah, it did list 2 of them on the open ditch, but that wouldn't help us with what lats it was, until we if we pulled the FEMA information from the file, but,
Yeah, that would have it too.
yeah.
I thought it was put into a spreadsheet somewhere, but I couldn't tell you where it's saved.
Let me look another place.
Wonder. have these voted on and to get through the process in time? Is it something we need to do?
Well, usually we do it by the end of May,
I know,
and we're
and
behind.
last year we pushed that too.
Yeah, and yeah.
Next year we'll have it done.
Next year will be so much better.
I know there's a timeline in the process that like the treasurer's office needs it at a certain time.
Yeah,
Do we wanna talk to Nick before we get started to see if he knows when they need that for sure back?
sure, I can go ask him.
Are you talking to Nick about what?
Timeline of when they need
The drainage.
decisions for assessments by, is it to get through the tax process and everything, typically.
Well, that's on the auditor would decide that.
Yeah, and we don't do
The auditor
that,
is the one who runs the assessments.
and we don't do that till July, but
Okay.
yeah,
You run assessments first.
yeah,
You run drainage first,
yes,
before property taxes, so it's not really Nick.
yeah.
Okay,
It should be you, Tammy. And usually they were done before the tax process started.
The assessments,
Yep,
okay,
yep, so.
yeah. Yeah, so earlier rather than later, but Heather's done so much work on this and trying to figure this out. One of the things that I want to ask that Palo Alto County, they have a $2,000 limit, so they only assess anything over $2,000. We've never talked about that, or maybe you did with Marge and
last
Not
year we
aware
did
of it.
increments of $500, but we didn't have a limit.
Yeah, are you,
minimum.
and so that's what I'm wondering is, do you have a limit, do you wanna have a limit, or are we looking at everything, cause Heather put everything on here.
Why put interest on anything?
Yeah, I agree,
So I
agree,
yeah,
I just wanted to ask because other
we
counties
talk
do it,
about that
so,
when Carter gets back, or actually,
Okay.
I suppose, but yeah, we
Yes, that's it, be done with it. Tammy, I was gonna ask you something before I forget, and maybe you said it, sorry if I missed it.
no,
Do you have the resolution on for Iowa Lakes Electric? Co-op that Todd had sent us? It's dated June 9th.
yeah, I said that in
Did you
that,
say it?
yeah, I did say
Okay,
that, yes, I think it's at 9,
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
10:30.
Okay, good.
Okay, are we ready to go through joint drainage districts here,
Yes.
for assessments? Okay, we'll get back to our meeting here.
So like,
Yes, they're listed in there, Monte, and then I have them in my folder. Just because they do
I
the
just-
reservation.
yeah, I just
That's
wanted
the-
to see because.
Like, those are those, cause it, and it'll say over there, requested by trust resolution.
Thank you.
Okay. What is the process that you, or do you have anything to start us off with, Heather or Tammy, or that we're gonna go through today?
Well, these are just ones that are like the joint trustees. Hancock sent me all of hers that she had signed.
Okay,
And then I have just the ones for, like the Pack, Tri, and
yep,
Humboldt. So
Yep.
they're just the ones that we have balances to.
okay.
that in folder for joint drainage district assessment resolution.
Is that under today's meeting? Or
Yeah.
under drainage?
Yes, it is,
Oh, okay.
yep,
I
yep.
was going to drainage.
That's a separate agenda item, yep, yep.
And so there's just how we figured it out, like I took the outstanding warrants, the interest for those at 5%. Then added any interest difference for anything that's older than a year. So most would, like the joint ones don't have a lot of that. It's mostly like the older ones that have a larger balance. Then figured out if there's any waivers due on those, took that off with the current balance in our fund account. And that would give us the amount levied. And then with the joint, of course, they're split like a percentage wise, so. And then, on the actual spreadsheet, we kinda just list like what repair requests, just ditch control and like weed spray and that kind of thing for a lot of joint ones. There is one for Pack 1 though. We were not sure if we wanted to wait because it's currently in the project
Right,
to assess it or not. And then I guess the one that's been like, they've done a lot of, change orders for the amount, so I don't know if it's worth waiting to assess now or waiting until they are complete with the project, so then we know the final numbers
Well-
versus having to reassess again if it goes up.
We know regardless, it's not there's gonna be more to it,
Right.
so, yeah.
So the biggest things that I would consider with that is, one, we have the project in the works, so without having the full balance, unless we're kind of doing it in stages, I would say waiting till the end, because I believe off memory, we allowed waivers for that project, and if you don't have a minimum of $500 per parcel, you're not eligible for a waiver.
Okay.
So if we did multiple smaller assessments,
It's not gonna allow some people not to.
people wouldn't have the ability to spread that over time, which we told them they would.
Yep.
So you could have $495 per parcel as a bill, and you can't sign up for a waiver, but
Okay.
if you combine the whole project into one, your bill for that parcel might be 800 or whatever, just examples, but the end result of how that impacts individual landowners and parcels would be a factor in whether they can sign up for waivers or not.
Mhm.
They don't have to, but it's an option that we told them they would have it.
And I have no problem with that, that's why I just, on the note, on the, actual thing, it just says like, wait to assess consent project, so.
Yep, yep.
So, I'll mark that we will not do it.
So they're up to Highway 18 now. Good for the project.
They start at the bottom.
Started at the bottom and south, and so they've gotten through the worst of it. Yeah.
How much of it, this is just a stupid question, how much of it, if you did assess this year, which you're not recommending, I heard that, but how much problem is it they think they're done and they're not? I mean, hey, I paid that last year.
That is another piece.
Yeah, why am I getting another
Yeah.
bill?
You
Yeah.
have to,
We get-
you have to be able to communicate to
Yeah.
people that this is a partial bill, and without sending something out,
Yeah.
the majority of people are not going to know that, so they're gonna pay it, they're gonna think they're done.
You're gonna think that isn't so bad.
Yeah.
Uh-huh,
Surprise.
Oh, pretty reasonable.
yeah.
Yeah, so then I guess that's my next question, cause there are some other, ones on my spreadsheet initially that are in current projects, so do we wanna just wait until those are final? So that we don't have that issue going forward?
Having just described that, I would wanna pay it as I can stop the interest,
Right.
but, I'd wanna know that I wasn't done too, and I heard your part about qualifying for waivers.
And,
So-
and I think it depends on the amount too, if you're looking at a $1 million project versus a $200,000
Correct.
project, the amount of interest is significantly
Yes, it
different.
is,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
And that's where, if the project was broken out in phases, there have been assessments for each phase, because this phase was done and then we move on to the next or whatever. But historically, assessments have been done when things are wrapped up, so you know the total, or have the ability to know the total. And then you're sending out one bill, if they sign up for waivers, they've got one payment schedule, and it's done and over with. The downside to that is additional interest until you assess it. But the alternative to that is, we could start a project today, like the one we're talking about today. We could do a $500,000 assessment, and then you have money out of your pocket before something's actually in the ground. So it's a cost either way. It's opportunity cost if you pay earlier, it's an interest cost if you pay later. So keeping our books clean or straight is got a value too.
I agree.
How many of these are active projects? 60 sub 4 is done though, right? Isn't it?
60 sub 4 is done.
Well, we're getting to the,
Oh, yeah, I know.
We
what
haven't
you're
had
talking-
the
I know.
completion hearing yet, have we?
Okay.
Have we had the completion hearing for that one?
No, we just had it for the DD 42 and 40.
60 sub 4 was completed, yeah.
We've
Yeah,
had that
that one's
completion
done.
hearing?
That was done before Heather started.
Okay,
but do we wanna finish the joints first?
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of resolutions, 14. How have we done this before? I don't remember.
Separate resolutions.
It's for each one.
Everyone, because they're involved in different counties.
Yeah, and they each have their own.
Okay, so I'm just gonna write it on the resolutions then, and then I go put it in my minutes from there.
Okay.
I'll just Going to read through them?
No, they have them in their packets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
have them all
Yeah,
electronically here. So if we start with the first one, that's pack one, last 48. I think that's separate from the open ditch project, so I would say we would,
That's not the one resolution I have. You're looking at resolution number 1?
that's the first page.
It says,
that I
it says
have.
number
It
14.
says number 14 though.
Oh, maybe.
They're not in order, maybe in
Oh,
the
they're
back.
backward order.
Sorry, they are.
Yeah, that is the last one.
Okay, well, I can go backwards, that's fine. Okay,
Okay,
backwards
so-
is good.
Yeah, I guess that's number 14.
Okay, alright.
But it is page 1 in our
Okay,
packet.
alright.
I guess Carter, I don't know if you know anything, or Amber, I don't know which district this one's through, but
Lateral 48.
looks like most of it's in Kossuth, but it's a
And
specific
you put
lateral, and I
the
would
numbers
think that
in
that
the
would
order
need to
that we
be
do 'em,
assessed.
So we know when we do the minutes,
Okay.
what order they were.
I don't know where that
Repair request 2019.
Yeah, it's some, they're still paying, I can.
What would that have been?
Back to 97, if I, if you're, is that what that means?
Number 97 in 2019 probably.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I guess we better assess it. We better assign that.
Well, yeah.
That sounds kinda old.
Yeah.
There
they're-
is some like engineering, so there's probably a project. I briefly went through them. I'm not gonna, I mean, but to sit there and dig up each single one. But there was one in, like 19, like the oldest stamped one is from 2020. So I don't know if it just didn't get done last year, I don't know. But there are some from 17 and 18 that are still stamped ones.
Possible, it's possible, you know what, and maybe we did, I don't even remember doing this last year, but maybe we did.
We did what?
We
But
did,
these
we did the joint
resolutions.
resolutions before
Oh, yeah,
March left.
Yeah.
And then,
we did join
Okay.
resolutions.
but
Okay,
I
so
don't
then
think
we
any
didn't
of
have
us,
a chance to look over.
we
okay.
did not look
So
through,
this could be old, but we need
Yes.
to do it.
yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why I brought the warrants outstanding. I'm like, I brought all my documentation just in case we need to
Yeah,
look
she's-
for anything,
she's-
so.
She's
No.
really done a lot of work.
Well,
I know
thank
she
thank
has.
you, yeah.
Straightened
Yeah,
out.
it's hard.
I just, it caught my eye in 2019.
Yeah.
There's,
So
where's
then,
that even
there,
written at?
so,
It's on the second page.
Right in your middle or kind of middle bottom.
Yeah, sorry, the account, or the drains are by like the account number,
I-
roughly,
I
give or
got it
take.
here.
Yeah, 51614.
No,
51660.
You're looking at 37.
Oh. Yeah, don't listen to me today, I don't know a thing. Okay, and Palo Alto is, they've signed theirs already, or?
I have to send them ours,
Okay,
to send it in. Cause Hancock sent us ours first, so I'm just gonna send them theirs, and same with Humboldt as well.
okay.
Okay.
well, I mean, do you need a motion to approve that one? I'll make a motion to approve that one.
Okay, motion by Garmin. I'll second it. This is resolution number
That's the one that's-
Resolution number 14.
14, two,
It's right in
2026?
front
Oh, 142026, I'm sorry. I got it open right in front of me. Okay, any discussion on the resolution? If not, roll call vote please.
Hold on a second, sorry. Okay, Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes,
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. Okay, the resolution passes. Next we have drain tri 84, lateral 375.
37S, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, 37S.
And this one actually was reclassified, and it's not ours, but we've paid it, so it all goes to Palo Alto. And I have their
Okay.
classification that I'll send with them as well.
okay,
Perfect.
that's a good one.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah.
We like that.
Can they
Alright.
all be like
Yeah.
Motion
that?
by Stecker very quickly to approve that one.
I'll second it.
And second by Garmin, this is for resolution number 132026. Okay, any discussion on that? If not, roll call vote.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes,
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes, resolution passes.
10:38, what the hell is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Anytime you next year, I'll put the.
Maybe there's a
Oh,
tornado
yeah.
coming
Oh, you don't
through
have
from
to
the
do that, I
state.
just had to know, like.
No worries.
We do that at 10 o'clock.
That is weird.
Okay,
Looks like the next one is number 6.
yep,
For H.
so this will be for resolution 6, 2026, for HK number 4-56.
Let me find that one.
You find it quick.
You gotta scroll down,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did.
HK.
Love, page
There we
11.
go. This
It's a
is
little above the middle.
due
It's
to
like
Hancock County.
Yeah, it's their,
Yep.
51371.
$2,442.
That one.
Sorry, one
Here.
second.
2375. But maybe there's more than just.
What did you say, Carter?
I said 2,000. $2,442.91 is what's on here.
It is.
In the resolution, it's 2375.
That is from Hancock. I will have to.
But the amount on the
That's
sheet is
probably how
different
it-
than the
That's probably how
resolution.
it breaks it out by the assessment stuff. Might be as close as you can get, I don't know. You won't get to an exact dollar that way.
Yeah, well, we have like $50 in our account already,
Oh.
like with that drainage
Oh,
fund, there
okay.
is
Who
money
knows
in our
what that-
account.
Okay, then that would
Yeah.
make a
Yeah.
difference,
You're
yeah,
not gonna
thank
get
you.
to an exact.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by Haas to
Second.
approve, second by Stecker, resolution 06-2026. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nat.
Yes. Next up, we have resolution number 4-2026. This is for joint drainage district number 56-4. Maybe
no,
it's for,
That's their resolution.
oh,
Yeah, that's their side of it.
I'm
It's
sorry.
the
Ours.
same,
We got
2375.
8-2026.
Okay, so we're
That's
8,
in our packet.
8, okay.
okay, my bad. This is resolution number 08-2026 for HK 587.
That's over by Mike, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds familiar to me.
Okay. Weed control ditch spring repairs. 26,000.
And we have like waivers due on that one, that's coming in,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and there's also a current balance, so,
and we have waivers too.
yeah, there's $94.13 coming in for waivers. So,
Okay. I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion by Garmin, second by Haas. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nat.
Yes. Resolution passed. Next up, we have number 01-2026 for joint drainage district number EK4.
Yeah, that's up in mine, so moved.
Okay, motion by Stecker, second by Wactor. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nat.
Yes. Okay, resolution passes. Next up is number 02-2026 for joint drainage district number Humboldt Kossuth number 2.
that one's just a straight repair.
Yep, I'll make a motion to approve that one.
Second.
Motion second by Stecker, discussion. If not, roll call vote.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nat.
Yes, resolution passes. Next we have number 03-2026 for joint drainage district Humboldt Kossuth number 8.
Also repair.
Yep, so I'll make a motion for that as well.
Wait just a second, which one are you on?
Number 8, Humboldt Kossuth,
No,
number 8.
number, resolution.
Oh, number 3.
Okay.
Number 3.
It's okay,
Sorry.
alright, okay,
If only
thank
our
you.
chair would stay in order.
I know.
Okay. Okay, now I'm following, and you said you made a motion,
And I seconded it.
okay.
I get fired. Okay, second by
Another
Haas.
year you will for sure.
Okay, any discussion? Not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. Okay, next up we have number 11, 2026. For joint drain HK 3-46 lateral 59.
Yes, and, Ann sent me an email from Hancock and let me know that it was supposed to be paid last, it just didn't get assessed last year, cause it was, I think it was later in the
Okay,
Motion to approve.
motion by Stecker to approve,
Second.
second by Wactor.
Moving now.
Yeah, okay, any discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. Next, we have number 12, 2026, this is for joint drain tri 84.
Not a huge thing, but my eyes just about popped when I saw 5,595.60.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, 5 million?
Nothing for whiteout cake.
Yeah,
Exactly, sorry
That's-
about that.
Let's take off the last two
Okay, we can
zeros.
do that.
Yes.
Where-
And that was, just a washout repair is what I have, and
Where is
there's
that
a
at,
small
Kyle?
balance
In
on the
the-
resolution.
Oh, in there, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, 5
Wait a minute.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then I saw the 0
Uh-huh.
at the end, so the decimal instead of the comma.
Kyle started sweating. Alright,
I don't think we've had $5 million
No.
quite.
Oh, gosh, no.
Hopefully not.
I'd move to approve with changes.
okay, moved by Stecker, second by Haas, any discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. Okay, next we have number 10, 2026 for HK 346 lateral 26.
Yeah, and we actually, Hancock is in control, but we paid, so, we just owe them the money and they have it in their account, they'll pay.
Okay, motion by Stecker to approve, second by Garmin, discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
That's it.
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. Next, we have number 09, 2026 for HK 25 176. Bless you.
And then this is, what Humboldt sent, they sent us a
Okay.
resolution.
Very good. I'll make a motion to approve,
Second.
second by Garmin. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. Okay, next we have number 07, 2026 for try 61-1-145.
This is also one that, Hancock sent to us that we owe them.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
motion by Stecker to approve. Need a second?
Yes.
Second by Haas, any discussion? Not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. Okay, next we have number 05, 2026. That's for joint drain HK 346.
Again, due to Hancock, we do have a, small balance, but not a whole lot, once you add interest, so.
Okay. Motion by Garmin,
Second.
second by Stecker. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. And we have number 04, 2026 for HK 2-36.
And that one is, there's some older stuff on this, I went over it with, Ann and Hancock, cause she'd asked. I do have her signed resolution for our part, but it's just like re-controlled ditch spraying and repairs, but some of them are older, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Stecker,
Second.
second by Garmin to approve, any discussion? If not, roll call vote please.
Wactor,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes. Is that all you had? Okay.
that's all it for the joints.
Okay, so we are done with that. Up to review and approve drainage assessments for fall 2026. These don't need to be by individual,
No,
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's not, I mean, it's not you, but it's just a lot to.
So, and with knowing that this drain 60 sub 4 is completed, we can assess for that. I didn't know if it was complete or not, cause so that 0 would not be, it would be the negative 1107882.96 is what we assess for.
Which one are?
I'm sorry,
Hold on there.
drain 60 sub 4.
Oh, okay, drain 60 sub.
If that project's complete, I put a 0 because I was not sure if it was, I didn't know it was
No,
done.
so
Oh,
there's,
that's okay.
there's more waivers due than what's outstanding, so that's.
Oh, I'm
not
sorry,
gonna be a
so it's still 0,
assessment.
it's still 0, I
That's-
apologize.
That's gonna be 0, that has been assessed for.
Yeah, that one's good.
I don't know why it would be showing more waivers coming in than outstanding warrants, because that should have been pretty spot on. But no, that project is done and that should be correct.
Okay.
I don't know if, like, the landowner damage payments got made a little ways after the completion hearing, so I would think those would have been on by the time this report was generated. We could double check some things there, but that assessment should be correct.
Okay. There have like some of the accounts that were overstated in funds. There's some adjusting to do, so that may be one of those.
Okay.
That needs to go to a different account.
No.
No?
Probably not.
Not, okay,
No. But that's, either way, it's a negative outcome.
Yeah, so it's not one that we have to-
There should not be an assessment there.
so the 0 is correct.
So drain 4 at the top, we should not be levying any amount for that.
Right, well, and that was kind of my question too, the ones that are like in project or currently in a lawsuit, if we're just waiting, I have no
Well,
problem.
that one has FEMA
Right,
funds
which we
we're
have
waiting
to
for.
locate.
Yeah, and we've got a list of those we gotta
Yeah.
get pulled together, but, that one and like I mentioned, 159 before, that one would have also been in the FEMA project, which that is in the notes there. That's in the same one as drain 4 open ditch.
So those should both be 0.
There's some other ones, I don't have them all memorized, but I know that's one of them.
Before I assess anything, that's why I need the number so we can plug those in
Yep.
to make sure.
But they're
Drain
approving
4,
them today,
lat
so we
4,
can't change any of the
we
amounts.
should have had that covered with the assessment that we did previously.
It says 0.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, that's me. Well, we would have had newer attorney bills for drain 4, lat 2 and 4 and 11 is in a project, but we've also got attorney bills there.
What is our cutoff? You know, we talked about last year having a cutoff of, okay, this is when we're done, this is when all the bills are here for what they gotta figure for assessments, what's our cutoff? I think we kinda talked about having a cutoff last year, but I don't know if we exactly said it, but I think we should have a cutoff,
Like a date or an amount?
a date.
A date on when the last claim gets approved.
included.
So
Gets
that-
included
Gets
basically, so
included,
like,
so
say
that you can do the assessment.
yeah, say the end of March, you'd run the
Yeah.
report after that, and that'd be the numbers you work off of, so that you don't add to the report
Yeah.
every 2 weeks when we do drainage claims.
Right,
Well, the
I don't remember if it was that one
private
last-
trustees have to have theirs in by a certain date. Can't remember what that date is.
I don't, but they've turned theirs in a while
Yeah,
ago.
but I think you should make sure that it's on the same lines of that.
I would say the end of March off the top of my head,
Because then that way,
or
then,
the last
because-
drainage claim cycle in March.
Yeah,
because ideally, we should have this done in May.
yeah,
So that gives
Right.
you April,
To figure it out, yeah.
April
April
and
and May.
May to work
or
on it.
May to figure it out.
Yeah.
I can tell you, these numbers are through May 19th, is what I have on here.
That's okay for right now.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but that's probably
But next year,
more
let's cut it off.
complicated for your process because you'd be able to start earlier
Yeah,
if it's
absolutely.
cut off.
Yeah.
So last
Let me
claim
so-
cycle in March.
That'd be my
We get a little
recommendation.
better every year, so, yeah.
Let's see if that's what it says on the drainage policy, so that,
So I know we talked about it, but.
Yeah, I
we don't have their bills coming in after.
And I feel like Wright County has, I know she has a cutoff date, I feel like it's in March.
I think it is too.
I think it makes sense to have it the end of March.
Yeah.
From a
Honestly.
timeline perspective, it makes sense.
The end of April doesn't give you any time.
No.
And
So-
into May doesn't make any sense, cause you're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
redo information you've probably done 3 times already.
Yeah, so into March, or end of March should be good. That will help you next year.
Well,
So
it's
then-
like, this time,
You just texted me, said tornado siren from the Ring at 10:44.
really,
It was actually 10:38
Is
here.
there any-
Or
is there
whatever,
any-
yeah.
Is there anything looking weird outside? I didn't think so when I walked.
I don't think so.
I think it's delayed.
Okay, so they
Why would it
have,
be delayed?
they have to have their assessments into us by April 30th.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, because their cutoff is probably the end of March maybe, but to you, the end of April.
They probably don't have it formalized, but yeah,
Probably.
they're probably working off of info prior to March, and then they're taking April to do it and turning it in by the end of the month.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, this March, if you look at it, the third Tuesday would have been the 17th, so you could have ran the report on the 18th after claims had been processed, you would have had almost half of March to work on it, all of April, and
Final is
half
May.
of May potentially. So you would have had 2 months because the calendar worked out.
I think our goal honestly should be that, we have the assessments approved mid-May.
Okay.
I think that should be a goal, because I know you gotta go through the process and learn that, but you need some time to run these. I mean, it takes time
Yeah,
Absolutely.
to run these assessments. It's a big job.
Mhm.
And it is easier to have it done before you guys start taxes.
Okay.
so yeah, like, I guess the next one down the list in my drain 4 lat 11, that's got $250,000, but it's currently in a project, so I would not assess that one. Unless we wanted to assess something for the legal fees that have been incurred, we would know those, and those are really separate from the tile project, so we don't really need to offer waivers for that, because they're a specific bill, not a big picture thing. It'd be easy to include in the balance of the project, but it's not really the project's, it's not related to the project, so if we wanted to pull those out and get a total on them, we could send out a bill for that, but I wouldn't assess the whole project or what we have currently in.
Is
The
that for the,
project's not done.
Correct, it hasn't even started physical construction yet.
is that the open ditch too?
Actually, the attorney bill is probably on the open ditch, I don't know, we'd have to double check.
Yeah, cause just as well
They,
as those.
they're
come.
probably on lat 11, I'm not sure if they're on the open ditch or if they're on lat 11, off the top of my head. It was a suit over the tile, so it's probably on the tile, but I can't guarantee that from memory.
For open ditch, it looks like it's just clear engineering, Leventhal excavating, well, then me.
Okay, so it's just the tile.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
5-1.
She said the open ditch is just repairs,
Okay.
so
yeah,
it'd be
should
on that
assessed.
lat 11 then.
Yeah.
So that one is.
So the open ditch, if that's a project, we don't wanna, that's still in process, so we don't wanna assess, is that what you're saying?
It's up at the top.
He was saying that, but then he said it would maybe send like the legal fees.
But that there, you said there isn't any legal fees fees on that one.
Oh, the open ditch there's not, it is in the tile, so it's,
Yes, so,
okay, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
so the open ditch is 0,
no, I would assess the open ditch.
but isn't that project in,
There's,
No, it's a tile that the project's in the works
Okay.
for
Okay.
lot 11.
okay,
so assess for
okay.
open ditch.
So
I
that
would
one's-
assess the open ditch
Okay.
and depending on the board's thoughts or preferences here, we could also assess lateral 11 for the attorney fees and costs.
Attorney
I mean,
fees.
we've had expert witness costs, we've had
Yeah,
televising for the tile, we've had contractors to dig stuff up for that lawsuit, we could assess for the lawsuit, I guess that would be my suggestion, because those bills are specific one-time bills rather than part of the big project.
yeah.
I don't know if everybody else agrees with the concept of that, but, that would be on lot 11, the tile. Anybody else have thoughts?
Okay, just know what way to go with it.
Well, you're right, and it's complicated when you have multiple scenarios or situations that are on the same drain.
Like,
It gets complicated.
and I don't know if this would be complicated or not, like, cause I'm not doing the spreadsheet or anything, but would it be complicated in the future to have like, if there is a project in one, to keep that separate, like to have a page where it's projects that we
Like
know.
improvements or
Yeah,
engineering projects.
and then the others for just, you know, like
Everything else.
attorney fees, that stuff, because then you have it separate anyway.
Probably.
So then we can make the determination a little bit easier
Yeah,
about
no,
what
that's
to
fine.
assess. You think something like that would be okay?
Yeah, that's easy,
Okay.
it's just
Okay.
adding more rows,
Well, it's just how you
No,
sort
they
it.
want them in different,
tabs,
Maybe a different
yeah,
tab,
that's fine,
yeah, maybe a project tab and then repairs and attorney fees and such.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Honestly, you can keep it all in the same and then just have a designation in a row that's repairs, and then you can filter it out by that, print it out by that.
I think it'd be easier to have a different tab.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
We can work it out. We
making
have a
way
year.
too
Yeah,
complicated.
Yeah.
Because then if we go to the project, we can be like, okay, oh yeah, that one's not finished yet, we're not gonna assess, but here we are gonna assess for all these different things for that drain.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think the cleanest way to sort that would be whether there's an engineer involved or not, because
Yeah.
you could have say for example, you have a $40,000 repair, you're not gonna have a public hearing, you're not required to have a public hearing, you're not required to have an engineer. It may be make a bigger deal for a district, but you don't hit that threshold of an engineer. I think that's the one thing that would be a clean line in the sand between projects. And this was maybe skipping down the line a little bit, but drain 4, lot 42 is kind of in line as the numbers go, but then drain 4, lot 40 is on the back.
Yeah,
Those are both engineered projects, I didn't know why one was below or.
it's because it's the account number, the fund
It's
number.
listed by the fund
Yeah.
number.
And once I got rolling, then I couldn't switch it, and I was like, we're just gonna leave it.
Yep.
Next year it'll be by the drain.
That works, that works.
So drain 60 sub 4, I know we talked about that, but like, have we assessed for that yet?
No, there's no assessment.
We did assess for that.
Yeah.
Already.
That's why.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
waivers due.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we already assessed that one.
Yeah, so like, 40 and 42, that improvement project would be wrapped up, so we should have, the final numbers of what that assessment should be, and I would double check what we have versus what Tyler would have sent us, cause I think he would have had a spreadsheet for total cost for all that. So let's just double check that quick, but your numbers are probably accurate with
Okay.
the amount that should be levied.
Okay.
But and that would have tied in with the reclassification that was
Yeah.
just approved.
last year. Well, and if you don't wanna officially approve him today, that's fine, Heather said she has some other stuff she could do,
I say we approve them.
okay.
Well, I think we've got some things to confirm and wrap up before we be to that point, in my opinion, but,
Just that one you were talking about?
no, there's a couple I've talked about, but even the, list of which ones would still be in that FEMA project, we've got a list of all those, but that's not incorporated here.
But the amounts for, you mean in DD4?
Well, DD4, but like
Those other ones
159
that are-
is one that I
Okay.
specifically referenced.
So, yeah,
We could do a levy there, but then when everything gets squared away with that appeal,
Yeah. I changed that to 0 in my spreadsheet, so.
okay. One I was just looking at was drain 82 has 165,000. And that has weed control / repair.
82, 512, there's a bunch of like B&W control specialists, Zachary or Leventhal excavating. There is some Bolton and Mink in there, so there was,
At $165,000, right?
I have 158, 393.51 on here, minus, and that's with no interest or anything. And then we only have $800 in their fund already, and there's $8.05 with waivers.
But it must have been more
There's
than
gotta
just a
be.
repair.
Yeah, there's gotta be more.
Yeah.
Well, right, I'm saying there are some like Bolton and Mink and that kind of thing, like I said, I briefly went through, I didn't like
So,
scroll through, cause it's
I
really hard to
think-
go through each single invoice and look them up.
I think 82 is one of the improvement projects we've been working on. I'm guessing the Bolton and Mink ones are for that improvement, cause I think it's 82 last.
Oh, I thought it was lat 30, I feel like it was a different.
Find
So I can dig into those and see if they're in the right account.
Lat 33B, that's in 82, that's got an improvement project with it, but we don't have a separate schedule for it.
Okay.
That's a pretty big district to not have a schedule, an individualized schedule, but there's gotta be more than just some odds and ends repairs there. and I
There,
don't-
like, there is, I mean, there's Bolton and Mink and stuff, but I didn't go through each individual invoice.
Yeah,
But I can tell you they're all from June of last year till now, but I can, look at that and see which ones are the repairs.
Is that one still
versus-
going on?
yeah,
Okay,
So maybe we don't
yeah, we can,
want to,
project,
is that what you're saying?
I mean, the engineering of that, if the project moves forward, all of that would be paid by
Okay.
by the laterals that are benefited.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That one's
at
here.
least the engineering
Okay.
should be separated out. We probably should look at the specific details of that though. Trying to think what else.
so from last year, like I know I had FEMA at 3 different sites, 4 different sites, I guess, but, 105 was one, and that's almost all paid up, but you go down to 132, I know that's the one by Wesley, and there's still 45,000 owed on that. I know that's not all the FEMA repair, but, and I think we're still waiting for money for that as well.
okay, I did not know what
130.
drains
Or
were
did we get
affected
all
by
of that?
FEMA,
Okay.
that information
Okay.
I did not have.
So 132?
132 would have been,
Part of
there's
the
been
FEMA.
two spots, one on the east-west road, one on the north-south road there, in that northwest corner, Gary Lichtey's land. There was one significant site that was a big washout where the creek bends at a 90 north, and then there was a bulkhead washout around the corner southwest of there in the same field. Those two were FEMA sites, and then there was 2 FEMA sites for Dave Rosenmeyer, around where he just built his house there, but a big washout in the creek, that was in 105. And the other one, it's a little dinky thing, but I think that, yeah, anyway, they'll,
Okay, we'll
might
have
need
to
to
check
look
on
into,
those.
look into that a little bit and
Yep,
see where
absolutely.
that was at.
Cause it didn't get done, so it got moved to 2026.
So. Let me look at where that other one was quick,
Yeah, that one's on there.
let's see. The name of the drain.
I was just checking all my repair requests to what's assessed.
It'd have been 67 was the real small one, that's not even on here.
Yeah,
So that must be,
and
Be
that must
good.
be good.
and that, like I said, that was real small, so. But I don't know, I mean, is there a reason we couldn't, we'll look up some of all that information and then we can come back next week and
Next week.
approve them?
So if there's more, tell us so we can make sure we have
Yeah.
all of them that
Yeah.
we're looking into, so.
And then just, of course, the projects, if you guys want us to, like, maybe just pull out the repairs for assessment and leave anything that's still in a project waiting, or do you wanna just wait till the project's in
I think they
progress?
need to tell us
Yes.
right now which ones they're
Okay.
doing and which ones they want us to
Well,
hold.
and I think I would've mentioned mine already, but like DD4 lat 11, that's got an active engineered project. Those bills I would not assess, but if there's other bills
Attorney fees, I think.
from
Yep, I get that written
attorney
down.
fees and
Okay.
trial and all that, all those bills that are.
Okay.
The lawsuit isn't done and over with, but those bills are done and over with.
Okay.
So
Yep.
those should be assessed. So from a structure perspective, I think I've listed off mine, but like drain 4, lat 40 and 42, I
Those are
think I think they're good, but let's double
Double
check
check
with
with Tyler.
Tyler's
Okay.
numbers and
I got
we
that
should be
written down.
good.
I have that written down.
Perfect, yep.
I have a question on one of mine. In my district, so it's, Drainage District 179. The dollar amount, in the first column, which is
45,
Outstanding.
85,
warrants.
5342.
That's confusing, okay, so, and maybe it isn't confusing, but it's drainage repair request number 55 is in the kind of
Notes column,
notes column. But I showed that the dollar amount for that repair was only $205.
That one, so there's also one for,
Am I missing one?
it's January 7th of 2025 for Reitzel's as well, and it's 438038.
Of 26,
25.
25.
That's still stamped, it hasn't been cashed, as of the 19th of May.
And that's on the same repair request?
So that.
It may be a separate repair request. I did all those this morning at 6 AM because I was not aware that you guys needed kind of like, briefly of what they were, so I did start looking at them, but if they had a bunch
Okay.
to go in and view each one to figure, so I kind
Yeah,
of
no,
put like,
it's okay.
and
I
that's why
just
someone will
was
say like
trying to
repair
check
request, yeah,
The ones in my district, just to
No,
make sure I
absolutely.
know what's going on, but.
absolutely.
Okay, very good.
That's why I brought the outstanding warrants, just
So
in case I did miss
those ones that I
one.
mentioned is all I mean, the
Okay.
rest is just repair requests and straightforward stuff, so, for me.
I guess,
My drain is good.
Your one drain's good? Alright.
Glad you spent a lot of hours
You wanna know about mine? Yeah, how's your drain?
Yours is actually on here, Josh.
Yeah, it is.
51 lot, plat A.
2020.
I think you have two though, Josh.
December
No, just one.
24 maybe?
It might be
51.
January when the
Green 51.
Don't you have that
Yeah,
little
so
tiny
it
one?
was 20, so it's Friday and 24.
I drive by 51 almost every day.
Cause I was like, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably paid in January.
Yeah, but,
And 164.
He has 164? Where's that one?
Like senior center, Casey Hall,
There's a drainage ditch there? A county one?
right there. Yeah, oh here, I'll zoom out a little further so it
much
doesn't.
better now.
Oh, it's- But it's this little,
I think you're imagining it. That looks like a railroad track.
why isn't that labeled? Oh, okay, alright,
Okay.
look,
Okay.
DD 164.
Ah.
This is 51, this is 164. Yeah, I thought.
They right on top of each other.
Look at that. It's just this little,
Sorry.
little deal.
Gotta keep him honest. too.
Heather, another question I was wondering,
railroad
is
track?
DD, or D 114, is that reclassified?
No, it's kind of just a like one label there.
I'd say where does it dump?
Well, that's what I'm
The
wondering.
reason I'm asking is cause one of my repair
Sewer.
requests says a lap
Oh, it
on
could
it,
be.
so I was just trying to.
I can
We'll have to
double
dump
check,
in
I
this
don't know,
area over here
they're all
somewhere.
under that one, but I can double check and see if it has been
Like what?
reclassified and if it's just not in there. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
I was fixing any classifications up until like
Yeah,
I know.
April.
yeah, and then she
Cause I
switched
don't
to
think
this,
that
but,
list was even
Access storm
current, prior
too, sure.
reclassified list.
so, the amount of classificate,
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
but yeah, that
There's-
is
there's-
one,
I know
I was
there's
just
been a
curious.
lot.
Yeah, no, I can
It's
definitely
not
check.
a big deal, but usually if it says it on there, it's, you know, reclassified, but.
Yeah, no, I can definitely check.
yeah, well, I think we've made a lot of progress.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
Appreciate your work, Heather.
we're in a relatively good place with a few things to double check and fine tune, and I think we'll get there
Okay.
between now and next week,
yeah,
so.
sounds good.
Absolutely.
Perfect, I have notes on mine too, so we
Okay.
can
I
get
don't think we have
everything.
anything else,
We do not.
motion to adjourn.
Motion by Stecker to
Wait,
adjourn.
I have to get there, wait.
Yeah.
Give her a minute.
Wait.
Don't hold anything back.
Okay,
By 9:30.
Stecker.
I gotta go run, work on my
Break
hay and
We need
come
a
back.
second to the motion,
Kyle.
I
Sharon.
still need a second.
Second.
Second,
Haas.
Kyle,
And
and then
Haas.
second by Haas. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
I
Aye.
I thought you were gonna say
Opposed?
roll call and I was like, no.
We are adjourned at